Yep. Here we go. Oh. Welcome in, folks. Whoops, didn't mean to make that big. And we'll put me up here in the corner for right now. 7 people in here already. Let's fucking go. This opening sequence is almost 30 minutes long. Hold on, I gotta turn my volume down. I can't hear myself. It messes with my head. These are clips from the integrated flight test number 5. Just what? A month ago? 6 weeks ago? Something like that? All these images are courtesy of Everyday Astronaut and Cosmic Perspective, their production company. They just started propellant loading down in Boca Chica. And in fact, they're still venting. They're purging the water system they have with nitrogen, making sure there's no debris and stuff like that in there. So when they crank the water on, we're not shooting chunks of anything anywhere. So how is everybody? Sarah, I saw you jump in. Nix, Jan. Sorry, because I have 3 different streams up right now, I'm limited on my monitor space, so I'm having to jump around. Chat's not. Do have chat up, but it's not in my normal place. Hey Ari and or Shubs, welcome in over on the YouTube side. We're getting ready for the 6th flight of Starship, test flight. These are still all test flights. They'll be doing test flights into next year, and probably keep doing them every time they do something new. Today's going to be a lot like last launch. They're going to launch. They're going to try to catch the booster back at Boca Chica, and but this time, while they're in space, they're going to try the engine relight in space of Starship. They also took off a bunch of the thermal tiles on the rocket because they want to see if certain points are prone to heat or not. Because in order to catch the rocket itself, the upper stage, they're going to have to put catch pins on, like they do on the booster. Booster doesn't go up as high, so the booster doesn't come in as hot. It still comes in hot, but not as hot. But they want to make sure that it doesn't burn through the stainless steel skin. And right now, all these rockets are stainless steel. They'll probably once we get into version 5 and 6, they'll probably still be stainless steel, but they might be a little bit thicker. Maybe some titanium plating here and there. We'll see. We'll see what Elon comes up with. So, I'm doing pretty good, Sarah. Hey, Pius. Sup, Grandpa? No, I'm not going to be a grandpa. That I know of. The one kid I do know of is not going to have kids, so. Unless my kids running around Germany have kids, which is possible. Wow, I didn't know if I'd have this many people in here. 2 now over on YouTube. Switch back. Gosh, all my stuff's covered. Still 7 over here on Twitch. Welcome in. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and switch over to.
Some physical, in-person, eyeball, ocular witnesses that a launch is
There we go. This is a
go. That is
everyday astronaut
fantastic.
and his stream.
SpaceX stream is probably coming up soon. Okay, so
Oh,
let's
you
do
know
this
what?
soon. Let's do one more.
I have Chrome audio captured,
Don't want to interrupt the SpaceX stream as much as possible.
but I do not have Brave. Let's
Let's
put that in there. I think. Hold on.
January 25th, 26th. Get
Oh,
your
Brave
box
should be
office
in here.
tickets. We're running out of room. We're selling out of tickets.
Are y'all hearing it in the background? Does it need to be louder?
Orbital and Apogee access tickets. We still, I think, we're probably over halfway sold out already.
We're still technically 38 minutes away from the launch window starting. Right now, they're just they're beginning their propellant loading
Charlie Duke, the crew
and flushing the
representative from SpaceX and a lot of other awesome companies,
water deluge system
also including people like Jack Fire,
with
John
nitrogen right now.
Cyan Proctor, Eric Berger, a lot of people from the spaceflight community. Robert
Those are the plumes you're seeing coming from the bottom of the rocket right now. That's just nitrogen.
2 days of
They're purging lines
talks and fun, and then the Astro Awards themselves.
and the water lines that go to the deluge system.
Get tickets before they sold out. AstroAwards.com.
Did they stop? No.
One more check.
I'm not seeing venting from the tower again.
Merch collection out there. Like I said, today the exciting one is our
But they have a 30-minute window between
if you're looking for some fun gift ideas,
4 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. this afternoon.
which we've got
Oh, yep, I'm seeing condensation there on the rocket.
stuff. But I'm
Okay,
really
whoa.
excited about our 1969 collection, which we made this collection in honor of the stupid Apollo video. It's still been taking me over 6 months to make, so maybe when that video comes out, we'll do some kind of sale and celebration. But for now,
And while he's talking about his merch, folks,
Methalux,
uh,
Parallax, and Hyperlux. Everybody asked for
he's showing off his new socks. He's got fancy socks. Those are cool.
to listening in here.
$50 for 3 pair.
Everything.
Where did my
Should we be doing our mission control check before
where'd my merch go? I had it on one tab here somewhere. I didn't mean to pause that.
fire up Napoleon up for the down check? Okay, so everyone on comms, this is a serious thing, by the way. I'm dead serious about this. This isn't just some show thing. Everyone on comms, all everyday astronaut personnel, listen in.
There we go.
We are
I've got some of the new camo merch up.
I do
I've contacted Fourth Wall. They haven't got back with me. Right now, they don't have anything camo.
our camera
These are actually all over print sweatshirts.
that Jetty
Uh,
and Dune cameras.
I've got a lawn dancer one
Okay, we do have confirmation.
with the purple deer dancing.
Down. We're gonna start firing those up. We're trying to conserve the batteries. So we have low power mode and high
Back.
power mode. So we will
Got one with just a big deer head on the back.
part of our production. I think it's just fun to share because the frankly it's we can see
And what was the other one?
cameras
Oh, the other one's just my regular logo. And it says, "Get off my lawn." Kind of subdued. It's kind of hard to see, but that's the purpose of camo.
this whole interface was powered by
And yes, while I'm live, anything can be gifted out in chat. At least on the Twitch side. They don't have YouTube integration yet, which really kind of sucks. Excuse me. I've only been up for about an hour now, so I'm still a little congested.
because it overheated or we lost its
But yeah, that's a thing. And also, Secret Lab.
up on things or ran out of batteries.
Secret Lab's Black Friday sales have started.
Control's been legitimate for us and helped
Save up to like $140 or up to 300, I think 300 and something total. With if you do bundles and all kinds of stuff.
this is this is we now see
Exclamation point Secret Lab.
Dune is also powered. I mean that is awesome, right? So we have flipped those on.
Did I spell it right?
All operators though are ready to go on recording. I believe we'll
Oh, I don't know. Did I?
cameras and T-minus 10 minutes, which we will do another call out on that confirmation at T-minus 10 to check all cameras. That includes myself. I have a few
Yeah, there it goes. There's my link.
recording inside of the studio.
Stream Elements is just slow.
And everything during launch and re-entry into the Sonic Boom.
use my link and go over there and check out some of the neat stuff they've got.
For now, just
Their
disappointed.
chairs.
SpaceX
They also make desks and all kinds of accessories for both.
Okay, we're gonna be listening in here. We'll put them on the audio on as soon as
They got back pillows. They're coming out with a new foot warmer.
information, obviously.
I don't know if that's out or not yet.
But from this angle, this is a great angle.
It's just a little foot pad that,
First time.
keeps you keeps your doggies warm. Of course, if I had one of those, the cats would probably be curled up on it.
Going to hereby use my years of training to demonstrate what the point is you guys do, and that's going to be
Pointy end up, flamey end down. Oh no! Do not start this buffering shit again.
but we're going to be listening in here to the official.
Do not start this buffering shit.
Their views when necessary, but if you tuned into us last time during Flight 5, we had the ultimate tracking shots. We literally had the best tracking.
Why is my download speed so high right now?
Put them side by side so that they have onboard footage of some of the guys.
Oh, never mind.
Miss anything.
Speed test is running. I was about to say it scared the shit out of me.
As best as possible. So, I think are we ready to go on the SpaceX stream? All right, here we go. Off the SpaceX, I'll be here listening and adding commentary when necessary.
All right. This time I'm going to keep Everyday Astronaut up on the main screen thing here. They have a direct feed from SpaceX. And SpaceX is only streaming over on the X platform, which is only in 1080. The quality is not as good.
Try to bring it up as soon as we can. But we don't want to take this off air, so we're going to keep it up even if it's a little bit grumbly. Bear with us.
Yeah, it sounds like he's having issues too. It's a stream, guys.
And meanwhile, while we work on that, it sounds like we're probably refreshing it and working on some new things here.
Yeah, Secret Lab really makes some good stuff. I'll admit that it's expensive as hell. Although right now my chair is over $100 off. I paid $600 for this last one,
Booster and ship, you can see frosting on the
and you can get them for a lot cheaper right now. Depends on what designs you get on them and stuff like that too.
liquid, that's cryogenic liquid propellant. 7 trillion bottle these tanks. It gives you a sense of where the ice.
Crap! I'm gonna turn that damn radio off. It's fucking the shit out of me. I'll turn it down.
So cold. Liquid oxygen is, what is it, 183 degrees, minus 183 degrees Celsius, and liquid methane is minus 175, whatever it is, around there, Celsius. So it's very, very, very cold. If you wear
Jen with the sub, thank you.
full of liquid propellant that your hand would stick to it, or,
3 months in a row. Let's go. Oh, that was wait a minute. Sarah just resubscribed for 3 months in a row, and Jen just subscribed. Well, thank you.
all right, here's better audio.
Oh no, y'all about to start a hype train.
You guys gonna be listening.
Y'all don't have to do that. This isn't one of my normal streams, but I thank you all the same. Also in the merch store, I put up my space merch didn't do so well, so I kind of took it down. But I put it back up during these streams in case somebody wants to get a Starliner T-shirt or a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Nick's with 100 biddies. Oh, there it goes. You triggered it. Let's fucking go.
The countdown startup sequence, everything will look very familiar if you watch Flight 5. Assuming you did, but you're going to see the engine start to ignite.
God, don't.
They're going to start
It's not me. It's not my internet, folks.
up in 3 different groups.
Oh, don't start this shit again.
Then 15 of the outer
This happened during the last launch.
bringing all 33 Raptors online.
That's why I chose to use Brave this time instead of Chrome. I thought it was a Chrome issue,
Second,
but apparently not.
first light until motion. As usual,
We also had trouble during on election night.
seconds if you have any last minute issues to clear, anything with the range. Anything that triggers on the vehicle. And if we pass T minus 10 seconds, the deflector
All right,
fires and
I'm
then
gonna. take down that one. Just
Then we're done
put the deer cam up,
4 hours.
I guess.
But weather is fantastic.
Because if I go to reset my internet, it'll take me 15 minutes to get everything back up.
Hey, if we're not able to get off the pad, though, we've got opportunities throughout the week. Could be 24 to 40.
It's the hype train. I blame the hype train.
First
Look
time.
at y'all.
I'm excited to be able to see another one of these get lost.
Walkabout just resubbed.
Check back in with
28 months in a row. Let's go.
Jesse.
Gosh, it's hard to believe I've been streaming that long.
And now you can see those two towers in the back there in the distance at Starbase. Starbase is really coming along just as rapidly as Starship itself. That second launch tower will be
Come on, don't start this stuff. Everything was running fine just a little bit ago.
testing the more and just
It's not OBS. It's not my internet.
towers, our cutting edge 1 million square foot star factory is
It's the internet in general.
the goal of producing hundreds of ships a year.
Yeah, that might sound crazy, and that's because it is. If you can imagine a future where we are flying and catching a fleet of boosters, which is the lower portion of the vehicle, that
All
fleet
right,
is
I'm
actually
going
pretty
to-
small compared to the potentially hundreds of ships, the upper
Close that out.
Starship that will be
Since we're going to watch Everyday Astronaut this time. Last time I think we were watching Y.
Staying in space
What about it?
long-duration missions to go
Another great
become tankers for
group of guys over there
any number of other uses,
who
but
follow
the boosters
launches.
will come back and
We're
turn
just going
around
to turn them off.
So in order to hit that production cadence of hundreds per year, we're rapidly building out Star Factory, which is our Starship production facility in Texas.
and live views, not live views, views of that Star Factory there. Now, this place allows us to move system integration work earlier in the build process, which means more efficiency, higher quality, and
Gosh, my nerves and my hands are jumping all over the place.
Starbase is an
I'm
incredible
sorry, folks.
facility
Whoops.
right
No,
now.
I want to.
There really is nowhere else in the world
Yeah, we'll
where
do it that way. We'll leave the stars in the background.
done.
I kind of like my stars thing here.
The good news is we are hiring. If you love what you're seeing, check out our openings at Starbase. On the engineering side, we're looking for vehicle design engineers across structures, propulsion, and integration.
And if you're a hands-on tech, we're looking for integration technicians and welders that can help us hit our goal of building a Starship every 8 hours. And to do that, we need builders.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need
Ooh, listen to that. SpaceX is hiring. If you're in Texas,
Right? Now, beyond that, in order to keep
if you know how to weld,
we have all kinds of roles, from baristas to HVAC technicians.
they need all kinds of people.
So, chances are, if you're looking, we have a place for you. Visit SpaceX.
Like they said, if they're going to be building a Starship a day,
and that's actually the delay that we have from SpaceX streaming to X.
are y'all hearing the stream okay? Do I need to turn it up some more?
So the camera's been a little bit out of sync. There's nothing we can do about that, obviously. But we'd rather have as up-to-date information from the official SpaceX sources as possible. So this is just what we can do with with what we have and what is available to us. So knows that will be our clock that will be live and synced up to our cameras, which is on the left screen. The SpaceX clock will be synced up to SpaceX
And
cameras.
guys, I'm just a big space nerd. I love watching this stuff. I would have been doing it anyway. And there are a handful of y'all out there that kind of like this stuff. So
Don't be fooled.
I'm going to continue to try to stream it.
40-second delay of our stream to your eyeballs. Unless you're here in Barnes, I know my parents here are local. That is live, real time. But if you're streaming on YouTube and watching this, T-1.
Yeah, on the YouTube side, you're going to be a little further behind.
You need to be looking at the rocket and not watching the phone. I don't want you to miss
Here, we're going to put the chat back up there since we got Windows closed now. Whoops. Sorry, dragging stuff around. What happened? Oh, I paused it by accident.
Look at our view on the left, by the way. You really get a good
Here, if we start flying our first Starlink satellite.
Oh, yes, and there is a sticker on the Starship that has a banana holding an actual size banana for scale on the side of the rocket.
To get an even better sense of how big Starship is,
For you folks that have been around the internet a while, you'll recognize that.
2 meters high. Towering over our average unit is the length of the Millennium Falcon, which comes in at 35 meters. Our Falcon 9 rocket
As if the Millennium Falcon's a real rocket.
Falcon is 70 meters, and nearly twice the size of that is the fully integrated Starship at 121 meters tall. The ship is about 50 meters.
This is already the largest rocket ever to go into space. And the next launch, IFT-7, will be the first of the Block 2 ships, which will be even bigger. Mainly longer. Mainly for more fuel and more cargo capacity.
I noticed they chose something like a felt banana. I wouldn't be surprised if the FAA wants like, any like foreign object debris before this thing goes orbital or whatever, before they start deploying payloads. Maybe they just want it so it's like not space approved to know like could this be any kind of fire risk on reentry? Could it be outgassing or whatever? It's interesting to me they actually put and hilarious that the most powerful rocket to ever fly is this payload is a banana, a lightweight banana. Felt banana, or it looks like some kind of plush banana. And meanwhile, other payloads have been like loading it down as much payload as possible, like flying up the Tesla Roadster past Mars, like on the Falcon Heavy mission.
Oh, apparently they have a felt banana on board as cargo. That's kind of funny.
A little bit of slack in some of the lines, so hopefully we do kind of see it, and I hope they are able to cut to that while in space during zero G, and also maybe even during.
And SpaceX is putting more and more cameras on all their stuff, so like when they do the fluid transfer in upcoming missions, they're going to have cameras actually inside the tank so we can see that.
Actually seems like currently we're not sure where that consecutive popping issue is, but just bear
They
with
keep putting more and more cameras around the spaceship itself so we can get better views. If y'all were here for the last launch, that's the first time we've had continuous video footage from launch until splashdown. That you've never had. It's something you never had.
Let's answer a few more questions from people because there are a lot of questions, and I will get to as many as I can. Likely, we're going to be sitting and doing a big review after this thing launches and hopefully lands.
Actually, SpaceX, believe it or not, SpaceX's Starlink, which is what they use, is actually better than what NASA has.
Review to make sure that nothing's sensitive, and of course, pretty much every rocket factory that I go to.
Yeah, we can do. Actually, I was meaning to do that anyway. Let me go ahead and pull up. Let me go ahead and jump into a Discord room here.
So we always make sure that
I was planning on doing that anyway, and I got busy at the last minute,
big heavy layer of
especially with the merch store and stuff.
public consumption. Because at the end of the day, rockets are still considered
I will go ahead and jump into,
nuclear weapons
I guess, just regular VC1.
globally. That's still the de facto.
If anyone wants to jump in, you're more than welcome to.
To be honest, that's how we put humans on the moon is because we wanted to blow up other people across the moon, which is a sad reality. Yeah, ITAR is
I'll even put up my virtual camera in there. Oh, I got to turn it on over here too.
anything. So for me, if it's publicly available information that I can find online, then
So if you're sitting in Discord, you can also watch. You won't be able to hear the audio then from the stream, but
all right, we good. All right, we're good to listen in. We'll see if it is a little bit better.
Now that whole flight test concluded, that splashdown.
look at all that frost.
40 seconds after launch.
Starship's fifth flight test was one of our most
They're loading oxygen and methane into both stages. That's why altogether there are 4 rings of frost right now. Because just like in Texas, they have a shit ton of humidity like we do here in Alabama.
Was an extraordinary moment for the entire
98% at the moment because of the friggin' rain.
year, but
But we need it.
epic moment in time.
Yeah, we're not forgetting that anytime soon. It's certainly one in the history. Now, today's mission profile is very similar to
Yeah, we can do that too.
there are some differences that we've incorporated as we prepare for future groups. About 20 minutes from
My sleep and my schedule's been so messed up lately with doctor's appointments and stuff like that. I didn't even had a chance to jump into y'all streams lately.
flight, the booster will separate from the ship.
I mean, I'll stop by and do a drive-by, and then then I'm off doing whatever else I'm doing.
Flights, including flight 2, 3, 4,
And also getting ready for hunting season that starts Saturday morning.
Back, flip the booster,
Rest in peace, Evelyn.
and we will once again look to return the booster to the launch site for a catch by the tower's chopstick arms. And once again, we will only attempt that if both the booster and tower are healthy after launch. We were successful last time, but we should emphasize that this process is still very new, and this is still just a test, so success is very far from guaranteed today. There's always a possibility that we'll use the vehicle. It's a contingency, but we can always plan for that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, while the booster is doing its job, the ship's 6 engines will remain.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are.
shutting down and then going into the coast phase. The ship will coast for a total of about 40 minutes or so, reaching a peak altitude of approximately 213 kilometers. Now, one additional objective for this flight during coast is an in-space burn using one of the ship's Raptor engines. Doing burn while in space will build confidence that we can do deorbit burns, which is a key capability for upcoming orbit.
You can only hear them. All right, let me turn them up to 300% too. If they get too loud, I can turn them down. But y'all can hear me okay?
Once again, perform a flip and landing burn before splashing down. into the vehicle.
Yeah. Now, there are some
Oh, Brave is at 300%.
arrangement plans for this flight, and they will intentionally push the ship to and
There we go. I can turn it up a little bit more there.
This includes several thermal protection upgrades and operational changes as we prepare for future ship catch and reuse. Today's flight test.
I like watching Everyday Astronaut because he actually broadcasts in 4K. He's one of those special people that get to do that on YouTube.
Has actually been removed in certain areas. And on top of all of that, we're going to fly the ship at an aggressive angle of attack once it's moving slower than the speed of sound.
Now this means we'll be flying nose down instead of our usual belly flop orientation during final descent. This will no doubt stress the limits of the flaps.
All right, is that better there, Nix?
But it will be a chance to get real flight data on what our limits actually are.
So, to put it as bluntly as possible, do not be surprised if this is not a.
Oh,
We are
well, not when I do that.
For how far we can push and discover the vehicle's true limits as we plan for future ship return and catch.
And even though ship not expected today, the telemetry and data we receive all the way to the end is what we're looking for and what will help us get to a rapidly reusable starship of the future.
Now, just like Flight 5, one of our
did they
objectives
just say they're
for
gonna go
Flight 6
pointy
is
and down,
attempting
play me
to
end up?
return the booster
They
to the
literally
launch
just said they're gonna
site
do that.
to be caught by the tower.
That's crazy.
The booster for this flight has upgrades to add redundancy across its propulsion.
All right, some of it's SpaceX's feed that he's getting. It's a little low. I've got it turned up to 400% now.
A few changes across both ship and tower to try and speed up the post-catch timeline. Returning vehicles to the launch site
He's a lot louder than they are.
that we use for stacking ahead
And
of
hopefully
flight,
I'm
making
pegging y'all out.
infrastructure multi-purpose. And in order for us to achieve that
And
rapid
no, I'm not
reuse
gonna
that
deep
we
throat the
keep
mic.
talking about, we need a quick turnaround, and you can't get much faster than returning the launch vehicle right back there to where it needs to launch from again.
Exactly. In this video, you can see our original render of Booster Catch alongside the actual footage of Catch from Flight 5. This video is just mind-blowing to see the predicted versus reality. And just like the last flight for today's Booster Catch, there are thousands of criteria that need to be met in order to proceed with Catch. Automated checks have to indicate we have a healthy booster and a healthy tower, and the flight director must issue a manual command which is informed by manual checks from the flight control team. If this command is not sent prior to the completion of the boost back burn, or if automated health checks show unacceptable conditions with super heavy tower, the booster will default to a trajectory that takes it to a
Yeah, SpaceX is cutting out a little bit. I can hear it.
in the Gulf of Mexico.
I remember when we
Yeah, fiber is awesome, isn't it?
it?
I love my fiber.
Flight 5, and wow, I still get goosebumps when I think.
I am
about
so
that.
spoiled. If I ever had to go anything slower than fiber, I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
Booster and the tower checks out after launch. As always, we accept
Now Starlink is normally about only what, maybe 100 up, 100 down. But since SpaceX actually owns it, I'm sure they're getting full
A lot
speeds.
of things have to go right in order to line up the booster catch. So if all criteria is met, we will attempt to catch, but there is a chance that we may
And in space, they have direct, direct communication with the satellites,
That first catch was
which
pretty
helps too.
epic, though, so, like you, we'll be keeping our hopes high to see another.
Yeah,
one.
could you imagine us having to go back to dial up?
To see it in person last time. Are you mentally prepared for a possible round 2?
Hey, Deedlex, welcome in.
It was pretty hands down the coolest thing I've ever
We,
seen.
we, we came out of the bushes so we can watch the rocket launch.
Breaks my brain a little bit, but it was absolutely incredible. One of the unique aspects with Super Heavy coming back is it does generate a sonic boom. This is something commonly associated with reusable spacecraft. It's coming in faster than the speed of sound and then slowing down. It creates that pressure wave that builds up. And
let
then
me
when it
see
reaches
here.
on the ground, that rapid change in pressure is that quick thunderclap sound that you hear. Now, generally the only effect is that thunderclap sound, but if you're not expecting it, it's definitely going to get your attention, and we were able to hear it last time. The impact of, or how loud it is, changes pretty dramatically.
Wait a minute, did it let me go to
As
600%?
we were descending.
Okay, so we're getting close here. That our teams kind of need to prepare. I'm going to get outside so I can.
They've
read
changed
this with
that.
my
It
own
used to
eyes.
only go up to
Again,
300%.
5
All right.
miles away, 8 kilometers away. We'll be
Hopefully
bringing
that's not blowing
you
y'all
really
out.
help you feel like you're here with us, and make sure that you're able to watch along with us as well. But meanwhile, we actually are down to our critical time where we have to make sure all of our dozen cameras or whatever, literally exactly a dozen cameras online that are not these are ones that need to be remote controlled, recording in at least 4K and oftentimes higher than 120.
And again, for those of you who just came in, my space and my camo stuff is now up on my my merch store. Exclamation point merch in the chat on Twitch. YouTube hasn't been working lately. I don't know what's up with Stream Elements on their YouTube side.
Just to confirm, someone else will be hitting record all. And all operators are ready to go with memory cards and.
Oh, there it goes. It works. And it's also in the description of the description of the video on YouTube. Twitch just recently changed it. They won't let us put links in the description anymore.
The stream, and I'll be outside to watch this with my own eyes, hopefully this time, and watch a catch in person. Goosebumps are starting to come just thinking about how awesome this is going to be since I was not here for the last one. I really hope the catch happens. How you guys feeling about it? I want to scale from 1 to 10. 10 that is going to launch and
on Twitch, I actually found a science and technology category
for tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. It is looking beautiful out there. I'm hoping
YouTube has had it
right now.
but
I really want to see this thing come back and land. So I'll be right back with you guys. We're going to leave you guys here again with SpaceX Stream and their comms up, so we can keep any updates. Wish us luck here, everybody. Let's go.
Yeah, he's fixing to take a pre-launch break. Which isn't a bad idea. Let me go pee real quick.
If those landings go well, the first crewed flight.
And I don't remember if I have a P command or not.
Right now, our flight tests are focused on proving out reusability of both Super Heavy and Starship. In 2025, we'll continue that focus while also
I used to have a P command.
First Starlink missions and demonstrate capabilities central to our role in taking astronauts to the moon as part of NASA's Artemis program.
I don't have anything set up
Starship
right.
will be used to land astronauts on the lunar surface on NASA's Artemis 3 mission, which will put the first humans on the moon since 1972.
One key capability will be the ability to refuel Starship on orbit, which you can see there on your screen, with a Starship prop tanker docked with a fuel depot. Next year, we're planning to test this capability by launching 2 Starships and having them meet up to transfer tons of cryogenic propellants. Now, when the time comes to land on the moon, Starship will link up with NASA's Orion spacecraft in lunar orbit, where astronauts will transfer over for their descent. Now, once on the lunar surface, they'll ride the elevator down in their Axiom EMU spacesuits from Axiom Space and leave the first footprints on the moon in more than half a century, kickstarting humanity's mission to establish a sustainable presence there. And coming soon to a moon base alpha near you, Starship Enterprise Edition.
That is so exciting, and all the advancements that are going to come in order to enable.
Oh, are they actually going to call that Enterprise? I guess that's up to NASA.
Which has been the basis for all of SpaceX's major innovations.
Because they're actually building the Orion capsule for, or Orion ship for NASA.
The cleanest I've seen. I think maybe way back in the day, some of the earlier, like SN8.
Oh, he moved outside. Okay.
And SN10, I remember being really clear. This is the clearest that I have seen this view in a while. This is outstanding. I really.
A lot of the people out there, they rent Airbnbs down there on the coast.
38 seconds. Again, everything is all go for here. So
And it just so happens the
I am
back
super-
balconies are looking right over
We
at
got-
the
oh, yeah, you can see the
launch
lock socks
facilities.
in the shot. There we go. Methalock socks, wearing the right socks for the
Uh-oh, he's showing
the
feet
right,
pics.
time here today. Again, everydayastronaut.com/shop. Get your own locked socks for this occasion and any other occasion in life. But I am very, very happy to be here, guys. This is looking absolutely fantastic, and fingers crossed. So let's just listen back into the SpaceX stream here.
Yeah,
and make sure we're not missing anything, but we are T-minus 9 minutes.
I had Streamlabs at one time.
Right on
I
the
might
dot.
have to go back to it. Over on the Twitch side, Stream Elements is working fine. I mean, it still glitches every now and then, but YouTube's just been a pain. I can't get anything at all to work over on my Deer stream.
Those rectangular panels on Starship's nose cone. Starlink brings us the epic views in space and on re-entry, and also helps deliver us critical flight data engineers need to continue development.
Yeah, Starlink continues to help us push the limits in space in the short term by providing great views and real-time data on our next few flights, particularly through re-entry, which spaceflight veterans know that is historically a period of blackout for all communications within spaceflight.
See, it doesn't even want to come up over there.
Starlink has
The B channel to stuff doesn't even want to come up over there. I don't know why.
Particularly in rural and remote areas that have been underserved by traditional broadband internet.
Yeah, and soon Starship will deploy our next
Well, I gotta
generation
type it right.
Starlink satellites, which will continue to increase our capability to connect even more people with high-speed internet all around the world and beyond. Now, as we continue to prepare for our next several flight tests, we recently performed a cryo-proof test of the Starship.
Since it doesn't want to work on the YouTube side, I'll just
First
paste the link
operation
over
with the
there.
vehicle debuting a number of major milestones. The ship has been stretched to make room for larger propellant tanks, increasing the propellant capacity from 1,200 tons to 1,500 tons. The
And
forward
there
flaps
hasn't
also
been
have
anything out
redesigned.
there
They have shrunk in size, and they also shifted in
today
location.
because of the rain, other than
Both of
birds
these
and
things will help
squirrels.
better protect them during entry heating while still providing control. There's also a wide range of upgrades that will make the vehicle more reliable, adding redundancy to and the ability to operate for longer durations in space.
One unique aspect of a trip to Mars are the different conditions ship will see when entering the Martian atmosphere. Now, it's difficult to simulate Mars's atmosphere when re-entering on Earth, so we've been testing a variety of heat shield materials inside a specialized plasma jet chamber at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, where we're able to more closely simulate Mars's 95% carbon dioxide atmosphere.
Aside from looking awesome, this is important testing. The intense heat of entry will cause the CO2 to break down into its base elements, exposing Starship to atomic oxygen, which increases surface heating and can cause materials to oxidize or start to break down. Spacecraft entering over Mars encountered more than twice the amount of atomic oxygen at their peak when compared to Earth, and that is certainly a unique challenge. As we continue to test, we'll learn more about what makes a great heat shield for Mars. All right, now that we're heading
Yeah, I
into
can't wait to
the
see him
final
launch toward
countdown,
Mars,
let's go
but
back
we got to
the
get to the
latest
moon first.
on the ground there at Starbase.
Minus 6 minutes, everybody.
Hey, Kate, afraid I have nothing but good news for you. We have a go from our range safety team. We are a little over 90% full on ship, almost 85% full on booster, and not tracking any holds to an on-time liftoff. So we've got about 3 more minutes
Cool.
of prop load. As long as the range stays clear, we don't trip any other holds, we might blow right past that T-minus 40-second mark and lift off right at the top of our window at 4 p.m. Central. So toss it back to you guys one more time, but fun part about to start, we are, what, a little under 6 minutes away from launch.
Love to hear it.
All
There
right,
it goes.
so we are continuing to progress now at 5 minutes and 43 seconds until liftoff. Now, once we pass the T-minus 40-second mark, a number of events are going to occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems will come up to flight pressure, and the ship will go on to internal power.
And then after that, the quick disconnect, or what we call the QD arm lockout, is removed in preparation for retraction shortly after T0. And once we pass the T-minus 40-second mark, we still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds, and then hold
They
down
actually
to
have
set
2
the
quick
pattern,
disconnects.
and if we lose
One
it
up on
against
the
T0.
Starship
Exactly.
itself, and then one down at the
However,
base
once
for
the
the
water for
booster.
the deflector system begins flowing at T-minus 10 seconds, any
Sorry,
aircraft
folks, I
will
nerd
be
out on this
automatic
kind of
scrubbed
stuff.
For the day, as the teams would need to refill the deflector's water tanks as well as the propellant storage tanks over at the tank farm before we're able to make another attempt.
Now, it is just so unbelievable that it's just been only a little over a month, and we are just a few minutes away from Flight 6.
Yeah, those are kind of cool socks. I don't know if it's worth $50 for the 3 set, but
launching at 4 or 5 in the morning out here, so very exciting to have an afternoon.
as fourth wall grows, they're starting to get more and more merch in
Now,
there.
just as a reminder, that T-minus 40-second hold, if we opt to use it, everything is
And
still
now on their
potentially
posters
available.
and on their
So
candles, you can actually
at
put
that
some
point,
kind of colored
basically,
background
up
on them
until
now.
T-minus 40 seconds, all
I don't know if they're
boards
just
are
solid colors or
holds.
if you can put a whole
This would
image yet.
allow the team
I haven't
to
looked
wait
into
for
it.
final checkouts,
I just
set
noticed it
propellant
yesterday
levels, engines, avionics, vehicle
and haven't
characterization,
gone over to fourth wall to play
range,
around yet.
weather. Occasionally we've had shrimp boats linked
But
in
all
the
their
past.
candles are just soy
But that doesn't
candles
sound
or
like that's
kind of
the case
unscented
right
soy
now.
Not today,
candles.
no shrimp boats, which is great. Everything so
Which
far is looking good.
isn't great,
Getting
but
really
hey,
excited
they're
here. Just
they're
a few
getting
minutes
there little
away.
by
We're gonna
little.
Go back, send it over to Dan in Starbase. How's it going, Dan?
Have they made it above 3 miles?
It is still
Not sure exactly. We'll find out here in a minute. I might have to do some calculations. All their stuff will be in
About
kilometers.
30 seconds later, we'll close out on booster. Our flight control team on board or in the building just behind me.
When they get close to liftoff, they'll have all the gauges and stuff here on the bottom of the screen
We're
here.
gonna have a lot of work to do right after we lift off, as we still have a lot of manual checks that happen on the tower prior to the flight director, who's going to be Tristan Pierce again today, giving a manual command to bring the booster back to the launch site.
What's the
And
point of an unscented candle?
tower did
I don't know.
just incredibly well.
I don't
on the
know.
last
I don't get
flight.
it.
We didn't lose any of our
And unless they expect people to drop their own scented oils into the hot wax, I don't
a
know.
lot of the team, really putting armor on the tower, making all of those things work, played a huge role in making that catch possible, and looking forward to hopefully seeing that happen again. And of course, sending our first payload to space. You can see the banana. It's very tightly.
Oh, there is the banana. There it is. Look at it.
Have some room to
Oh man, they have the whole. Oh, they got the Pez dispenser
We should see
framework in
our
there.
Starship
Cool.
gravity indicator putting on a little bit of a show, and that's looking right in. That's where we're going to have Starlinks. That's our Pez deployer. So getting its
Yeah,
way to space.
there's actually a slotted door
About
in the
2.5
side of that
minutes, we are
for the new
closing out on
Starlink satellites,
Yep, just heard
and
that.
it will
There's
eject them
a
one at a time like a
no
Pez dispenser.
longer gonna be flowing propellers
Which is kinda
into the
cool.
booster and the ship. We're going to do what's called pushbacks. So
And they're
all
talking
the
about
going
trying that
ground
sometime
systems are
next
gonna
year
get
too.
pushed back to the tanks, clear out everything around the pad right before we land those 30
They actually, I don't
take
think
off.
they've actually done a
From
full
Mercury, you're gonna see
rotation
fire
around the
starting
Earth
You're gonna
yet
see the deflector start
in
about
low
10
low
seconds
Earth
before
orbit.
launch. Lots of water to help dissipate all that heat, all that sound, and then the engine starting up in 3 different groups, and then about a second after T0, we should see liftoff. About 2.5 minutes into the flight, a little bit longer, we'll see hot staging, and that's when we're going to be listening really close on those loops to see if we're going to be bringing the booster
Okay,
back
everybody,
for a
final
catch today.
warning here from the
Do
Nobody
always wanna
Astronaut
caution.
team. If you guys are recording, everyone record all. Make sure all content is ready to go. If you're in person watching and you're watching a stream, we are T-minus 1 minute. You're hearing this now. I would start watching before the rocket. But in real life, we are T-minus 1 minute. Again, there's going to be a little bit of a delay between the SpaceX feed and ours. So our clock will be on time. But we're going to listen in for a hold here briefly. Make sure they blow through that T-minus 40-second hold. Let's listen in here. All eyes on the rocket, though. It's go time.
Yep, they're done filling it.
Key
The
moment
venting
to
now
look
is just
at
from
in
boil
20
off
seconds.
because
That's
they do not
T-minus
insulate
40.
their tanks. So all that cryogenic fuel boils off at
And
room
we flew
temperature.
Right through that.
Good deal.
Flight directors go for launch.
Go for launch.
All right, we're now T-minus
Let's
20
go.
seconds until liftoff of Starship
So there's the
Flight
water.
6. Yes, sir, Marcus.
There's ignition.
There we go.
And liftoff. Yes. Liftoff of Starship's full stack Flight 6. Second catch attempt. Let's go, baby. Push Starship farther.
Look at those
than
mock
ever
diamonds.
before.
That's just pretty.
Look at that. Yes. Oh, that is gorgeous.
All 33 Raptor engines.
Wow. It's beginning to pitch over a little bit. You can see the mock diamonds. And we're now hearing the sound here from 8 kilometers away, 5 miles. The sound is starting to hit us. It's just going to start ramping up here on our end, guys. Get ready for quite the rumble of 33 Raptor engines producing more than twice the thrust of a Saturn V that took humans to the moon. Is propelling that
Twice the
vehicle
thrust of a
into
Saturn V
space
rocket.
right now as we speak. And holy crap, here it is. Oh, yes. Beautiful launch. Absolutely beautiful launch. Let's listen to SpaceX here. Make sure we're not missing any call-outs here. This is absolutely phenomenal.
Come on, where are the gauges? There they are.
We got 33 engines.
Next, a little over a minute. Next, flight.
1,200 kilometers an hour
6 miles away.
and climbing.
The sound still hitting us here in good
12 kilometers up.
Telemetry nominal. That's flying straight and true. We do see all 33 Raptor engines lit up on telemetry screens.
The left side of that one shows the booster and all the engines. After separation, they'll have all the Starship telemetry over on the right-hand side, and the 6 engines over there.
So we're going to see the 6 engines on the ship ignite while still attached to the booster. Just before that, we'll see all the...
And these are all sea-level engines on the booster. On the Starship itself has 3 sea-level engines and 3 vacuum optimized engines, which the vacuum optimized just has the bigger bells on them.
Manual command.
Looking for that Miko point.
Just about 30 seconds away from hot staging.
Here we go, coming up on hot staging on our end here, so we should start to see those outer engines shut down and go to the center 3 Raptors.
Yep, they'll
Any second here.
start shutting down the engines.
There we go.
Yep, there we go. Then they're going to light the engines
Seeing it, good.
on the other one.
Look at that stage separation.
And we
Yep,
heard,
there it goes.
We heard the tower is go for catch.
Booster engine cut off.
The return flag is set for true.
Holy crap, we already confirmed towers.
All right, they're already ready to catch it.
Stage separation.
All right, hot
Anyway,
staging.
now we have telemetry on the second stage.
Booster boost back going. We heard that we are go for
There's one of the catch pins there.
Kate, Jesse, take in the views. Hopefully I got a booster coming home real soon.
From our view here, Dan, great views of planet Earth behind that super heavy booster. Right now it is performing the
Ship
boost
jam
back
push
burn.
phenomenal.
Good news there, telling us
The SpaceX has so many other camera angles from on board.
the ship are good. That is the
They just
second stage of
they'll
upgrade.
release them later on.
Follow along with the telemetry
Wow.
on the bottom of your screen.
You can see the little clouds, puffs
Yeah,
of smoke
booster
up there by
is
the big
currently super heavy.
condensation
Is
cloud up there.
currently in its boost back burn. This boost back burn.
Avionics, power, and telemetry
Wow.
nominal.
This boost back burn lasts just a little bit over a minute. So we
Coming
have-
back at over 1,400 kilometers an hour.
We've had shutdown of that boost back burn. Up next will be
See, the booster only got what? Not even 100 kilometers up. It's still at 96 right now.
on the left-hand side of your screen, and then tracking cam there on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll see those grid fins.
Booster offshore divert.
Oh, there goes
See that
the hot staging ring.
stage has been jettisoned.
Booster
Yes,
offshore
visual
divert.
confirmation of that there on your screen, which is great.
And they actually recovered that last time. It splashed down not far off into the waters off of Boca Chica.
Landing burn again. It'll light up 13 of those engines and then pare down to 3 engines right before booster catch.
All right, now just real quick, we did hear the call out, booster offshore divert. Unfortunately, that means we
No.
are no-go for the catch.
No go for catch.
Oh, they're not going to catch it.
The tower and the vehicle, as well as the operators on console, have been actively evaluating the commit criteria.
Oh, well, that sucks.
That return to the watchtower. And
They have so many parameters, though, that they have to meet in order to catch it.
commit criteria, so we're no-go for
And
tower.
apparently there's a no-go somewhere.
We did mention that. We're constantly evaluating the criteria for catch. There's a lot of things that need to go well in order to line that up. Unfortunately, today we will forego booster catch today. But what you're seeing on your screen is ship currently making its way towards the Indian Ocean. Still looking good so far.
Exactly.
Also, laser engraved tumblers are in my merch store.
Screen, views of the ship on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, we said before that it was not
You can choose one with my logo on it. We can customize it, put your name on there, put your logo on there.
We were hoping for it. Like we said, it was pretty epic on attempt 1, but
I make each one of them individually here over on my laser,
public and
so I can put whatever y'all want on there.
itself are paramount. So we are accepting no compromises in any of those areas.
See it.
Exactly, and we're still going to get a lot of good flight data with booster even,
It's falling
but especially
so
with ship.
fast.
Again, we have an additional objective today to do.
Man, look at that.
Space.
Over 4,000 kilometers an hour coming down.
Again, will help us set us up for being able to do deorbit.
They'll be firing the engines here to slow it down here in a minute.
It's flowing like
It's
crazy.
just right offshore though. Look at there's the Texas coast right there.
On your screen is a view from super heavy as it's making.
Look how hot the bottom of that is.
Yeah, once again, we are attempting.
And that's just friction from it coming back into the atmosphere.
Super heavy booster. So we have seen this before, and it is still very fun to
Here we
watch.
go.
Watching
Rockets
it
are firing.
For a soft splashdown off the Gulf Coast of Texas.
Oh, you can see it out there on the ocean.
Re-entering. We saw earlier those grid fins. There are
Wow.
4 hypersonic grid fins. Or we can see that the landing burn has
Look at that.
on the super heavy
Wow.
Same pattern, 13 engines will light.
Wow.
Look at that. Still standing up and it falls over.
And there's
Kaboom!
the boom. Holy cow.
Incredible view of
Oh my God.
super heavy.
Yeah, I'm sure the booby cam views will be
Wow.
Look at that. It's still floating too.
a water landing once again for the
Yeah, I want to see the buoy cam of that later
Oh
on.
my God.
SpaceX team for making that milestone as well. Now, ship
Oh,
continues
man.
to look good.
Look, it's still floating.
Wow. Well, it wasn't a catch, but it was exciting nonetheless.
All of that was happening. The crowd here in Austin
When you hit the water that fast, it's like hitting concrete.
react to all these amazing views that we're getting. The next milestone is
Starship is in terminal guidance.
great news there. Starship terminal
It's
guidance.
just
referring
chilling
to
on the
what we see
water
on
there
our
still.
Screen, the upper stage at about 8 minutes 35 seconds or so, we have ship engine cutoff, which would be the cutoff.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're going to bring the Starship down
Go ahead
in
and update
the Indian Ocean.
Onboard footage. Let's go picture in picture on this. I'm gonna head inside so I can
we
see
can
stuff.
see on our screen
It's too
ship
hard to see out here.
giving us some incredible views brought to us by Starlink. This view is also very interesting because we can see basically the receding tile line that we referred to earlier, where we mentioned we have removed a number of heat shield tiles in order to test out and push the envelope on the ship and demonstrate what is
He's having to take one of his monitors back inside. He's got a bigger setup than I have.
Cutoff. Great news there. Everything
There we go.
looks awesome for ship.
Full view looking aft on ship here.
Check MTS is saved. Nominal orbit insertion.
There's that call out we were waiting for. Confirmation of good orbital insertion for ship today.
It has been a very exciting afternoon so far.
Look at that. The booster's still floating. Hasn't sunk yet.
Dan, that live view experience. Dan, once again, are you okay after witnessing another Starship launch?
Yeah, totally fine.
All right. Well, that wasn't quite what I was hoping to see.
Yeah, I was wanting to see another
Clearly
catch
we didn't
too,
get a catch
but
today, we still do have a
next time.
booster that appears to be mostly intact, floating on top of the Gulf of Mexico here, within range of our tracking assets. Can you believe that? I believe that's probably our camera on top of the on top of Sapphire, and of course, huge shout out to the Cronenbergs who allow us to shoot from their condo unit, which you can rent and actually see this yourself at luxuryrentals-spi.com. But anyway, the fact that we can actually still see this booster here, we're so thankful that we're able to put our
Look at those
telescope and our
images.
tracking footage, our content up there, because that is crazy. It did survive the splashdown, and it's just sitting there on top of the water now. You can see it's angled up.
I
because
think
of
that's one of the forward
the mass of
flaps.
the boosters and the buoyancy of the vehicle keeps it at an angle there. Meanwhile, Starship appears to be. Remember, they said they were pushing things further this time. They said they're going to be pushing things to the limit. And of course, you're going to see stuff falling off. It's always ice. That is always, almost without question, ice that's going to be falling off and spinning. As you can see, thrusters are firing, and as they are using the liquid propellant, it will still be. Sometimes it gets caught, or little bits get, sublimates back into ice, or whatever you want to say. I don't remember the right word is there. Too excited. But the fact that we actually are sitting here still watching the booster, and they haven't triggered the FTS yet, is absolutely wild. That's a booster that fell from space, massively on fire, seemed to have some huge explosion when it hit the water, but now it seems to be mostly intact. That is crazy.
Yeah, I think it was one of the upper fuel
That is
tanks
crazy.
smacked
If they
and
do
probably
anything like they did
ruptured.
after Flight 4,
Is what it looked like.
they'll
Because I
likely try to
believe that's the
recover
S end
boosters if
that's
they don't leave any wreckage
on the left side.
anywhere. But this is
I can't tell
absolutely
from that
phenomenal.
camera
Again,
view. It
we're
looks
gonna
like
see
it.
the ship re-enter here. It's going to be doing its. Let's see. It'll be doing its. Let's look at the pre-launch preview. What's it say? The training in space demo is going to be about 37 minutes into flight. We expect to see the Raptor relight, and that would be awesome. So at least we can hopefully still see some progress and milestones today. It seems like the booster was a bit of a reversion backwards from the catch from last time, but at least it's hopefully it's learning. They learn what could have gone better. I was so expecting when they said
All these space images are coming through
all right,
Starlink.
Here we go. But all the criteria, thousands of levels of criteria need to be met. And if even one little thing was wrong with the booster, it could be any number of things that we don't have enough data to know on. That's why the booster could have aborted. But you do see it's still clearly on fire.
And President Trump
Really
is
darn
down in
well
Boca Chica
for tipping over
with Elon.
It did its soft splashdown and then tipped over. So they basically do a simulated tower catch again where they can
He didn't want to talk too much about
it,
that. He didn't want to
and at
get
some
into
point it has to still
politics.
fall over because obviously there's nothing there to support it. So it tips over, and obviously when you have a vehicle that's 70 meters tall, 230 feet tall, 240 feet tall, whatever it is, when you have something like that tipping over, and smacks the water, you better believe stuff's going to break off it, and that's obviously what we see. And John's reporting to us that the booster's actually drifting and being moved around by the wind, and hopefully
Yeah, it is.
pushed up on shore. I'm sure they will end up triggering FTS at some point. So keep recording, all teams, keep recording, because we might see a beautiful flight termination system be utilized in order to actually get this thing to sink and go down. So we'll have to see how that turns out. I guarantee I wanted to turn this camera off from recording inside here.
Oh no. Not with the buffering.
If I stand up and do that, that's right when it'll blow up. So I better not do that. I'm going to be fairly glued to this. Again, huge thank you to everyone that's watching with us. We're pretty fortunate to be able to provide coverage of the booster even after it's splashed down. And hopefully we see more great stuff happen again. At T plus 37 minutes, we expect to see the relight of the Raptor engine test. But let's do another quick reminder for everyone too. I'm hearing word that we are getting way closer to selling out than I think we imagined for Astro Awards. So if you do want to attend our 2-day festival where we have panels, debates, keynote speeches, from people like Charlie Duke, Apollo 16 astronaut. You can see an Apollo astronaut who's walked on the moon in person, share his experiences. Charlie Duke will be at the Astro Awards. We also will have the crew of players, Don. We'll have a lot of awesome people attending and giving speeches and panels and keynotes, such as John Krause, Jack Beyer from NSF. We have people coming from the entire crew of players. Don will be there and doing a panel on their mission. We have, of course, the Astro Awards themselves, where we'll be giving awards away to the most exciting.
Can't believe that booster's still floating.
Innovative and inspirational missions.
The banana.
2024. So we'll be inviting people just like we did last year, where we actually brought people out and handed them physical awards for their amazing work. and for the inspiration that it brings all of us. If you want to take part and see that in person, meet amazing people, and just gather and have fun and party. January 25th, 26th, Austin, Texas, the Astro Awards. Go to astroawards.live. Again, that's astroawards.live. Get your tickets now. We've already sold out of our VIP packages. We got that zero-G indicator showing now. You can see some slack on the one string. That is hilarious. And, of course, a little bit of mist again. That is so funny. A banana in space. But, yeah, Astro Awards. I hope we see you guys there. We are ramping up everything compared to last year. So excited about it. So excited for it. And everything's already looking like a huge, huge upgrade from last year. Yes, last year was kind of a minimum viable product. This year we're going all in. And it's going to be 2 days of awesome space flight. Hanging out, learning, fun, laughter. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, let's get back to a few of your questions and everything.
Yeah, there's plenty of room on that door. Isn't there?
Wondering too, a few questions about that Pez dispenser, but that's a pretty early on Pez dispenser that we're seeing. Not quite indicative of what we'll likely deploy. Look at that. It's kind of hard to tell. Did it lose its top? Like, what blew up? Because it kind of looks almost like it's already missing the top.
Yeah, I think it was the top section.
Almost.
Top, which would have been the oxygen tank up top.
Tank. Like, I don't know. That is crazy.
I think the oxygen is above the
Wow. Look at those
methanol
shots
tank.
of
I'm not sure. I could
in
be wrong.
orbit. Well,
One of the two tanks on the very top of it blew up is what happened
at an altitude
when it
of
smacked the water.
83 kilometers.
Probably ruptured the tank.
Absolutely beautiful. You can tell how close it is to orbital velocity. Orbital velocity is roughly 28,000 kilometers.
Right now they're
300, and currently going down because it is increasing in altitude. But
altitude 184.
Will go back up as it's coming back down on its orbital path. So we will see speeds beyond
184
that,
kilometers. Let's see, what is
that?
that in miles?
From Ron Rudan saying, Hey, you haven't seen my membership. I sincerely apologize when I miss things. All of your support is so unbelievably generous, and from the bottom of our hearts, it literally is what makes this possible. We could not do the coverage that we're doing and reinvest hundreds of thousands of dollars into gear to be able to.
They are 114, but roughly 115 miles above the Earth's surface.
Future generations, in 40, 50 years from now, people can look back and actually. We want to make sure we're capturing that the imagery as best as we possibly can.
It is a very low Earth orbit.
Unfortunately, just due to there being over 160.
Get much higher than that, and you start getting into satellites and stuff like that, and they're trying to avoid a crash.
Shotgun a few of these here quick and.
Or taking out somebody's satellites.
Again, thank you so
Heaven
much for
forbid
all
if we take out one of China's
the members and the super chats.
satellites.
Totally makes this.
They'll say we did it on purpose.
Totally makes this possible. Gigi, we did talk a little bit about putting Orion on Starship a little bit earlier. The reality is, I think it'd be relatively in the world of spaceflight, it'd be relatively easy. In the world of SpaceX spaceflight, it'd be relatively easy to make a dummy adapter. No big deal. Absolutely no big deal. To be able to adapt, to be able to, instead of flying the ICPS, just make a payload adapter that fits Orion. I think they could do that in 6 months. If they put a huge cupola on the Dragon capsule in 6 months and have it human rated, I think they can make an expendable Starship with that massive factory that cranks these things out once a month. They could do that in 6 months. This is from Daniel Sundberg. Daniel, good to hear from you again. Will there be less heat dissipation on entry to Mars due to less atmosphere?
No,
so,
more.
I can't speak exact numbers here, but generally, yes. But the thing is, you actually want to...
less heat dissipation.
Scrub off the same
You'll
amount
have more
of energy
heat
in the atmosphere. So it just means you'll stay in the atmosphere longer. So the total amount of energy is the same, or relatively the same, depending on the terminal velocity, obviously. At the very end. So your final burn, you'll have to use more propellant to burn and do a landing burn on Mars, although it has lower gravity, so it has much less atmosphere. But you'd be surprised, though, how the heating, like a Starship gets unbelievably hot when it's still up at 80 kilometers. And at 80 kilometers, that's pretty similar to Mars's atmosphere, at just slightly above ground level. And so Starship will be re-entering much lower in Mars's atmosphere, but the conditions will probably be relative, and they'll design the flight profile around the limitations of the heat shield to be able to, stay within kind of those bounds. We will have to see, though. Tom Richardson, thank you so much for your support, and same with Mark.
Guys
I
over
did
at
see someone say
What a
fly a
Battered are
drone out there.
watching
Check it out. It is
the
still
launch
a
over
TFR.
again.
There's still a temporary flight restriction. Oh, we're showing.
Well, the TFR is also because the president's on the ground. That's part of it.
Yeah, look at Booster, though. That is still on fire, still floating. She's going to go boom. John, we probably should recenter that just in case it does go boom. We want to get maximum boomage.
At this point, you've got a vent plume going just from one of the vent hoses.
That is.
It's not going to explode unless they actually trigger the detonation system.
From the ground, can the people at Isla Blanca see this? Like, are any of our ground cameras, Mr. T and stuff, capable of seeing it? It's over the horizon from the ground. Okay, we're trying to figure out how far away it is. Based on what? Trigonometry?
Look, there's a Coast Guard helicopter right now.
Interesting.
Flying
Got
over.
a helicopter flying through the shot. So we're trying to get a sense of where it actually is, how far out it is.
During the last launch, the Coast Guard was actually landing out on the road in front of SpaceX and refueling from a refueling truck and then taking off again.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm surprised they haven't triggered the flight termination system yet, unless they're still getting data off of it.
I'll try to get through a few of these again.
Or maybe they're just trying to see how long it takes for it to sink.
18 miles, which would be right around 30 kilometers in distance. That is quite a ways out there. I understand now why people, flat earthers, go ahead and try and see this without being 28 stories up. Here's a view from ground level. There we go.
Yep.
Just in case there's any flat earthers wondering whether or not there's a curve of the earth. I guess we're doing a live demonstration of that right now, but our ground cameras cannot see it. However, our cameras that are, what is 28 floors, right? Yeah, 28 stories, so about 280 feet, roughly 100 meters tall or whatever, a little under, 90 meters tall. We're able to see this. So do a curve of the earth calculator, and you'll be able to actually figure out pretty much where we're at. So again, remember, stick around. In 15 minutes. We're coming up on that Raptor relight demonstration, which is really exciting. Really exciting. All right, here. Let's keep going here. From Titus, Alex, big fan since many years.
Where'd Discord
You judge the
go?
base inspiration for the Starship stack.
Did nobody want to jump in the Discord?
Or simply new innovation. I think it's. Frankly, all rockets derive some
I
inspiration
got a message.
from previous work, but frankly, this is a clean slate on just about every imaginable prospect. I did a video on the N1 versus Starship, and it's so funny. I actually read comments of.
Is Stream Elements still posting subathon times?
Video. I basically said that.
All right, remind me later, and I'll turn that off.
And be successful, unlike N1, because it has a lot more freedom to fail, and it's not reliant on Sergei Korolyov, who unfortunately died and canceled. When he died, the program died. And I talked more about the iterative design process and the fact that we have all these, a way to be able to produce these things frequently, and we're seeing exactly that. So frankly, that video is bang on, and I'm really proud of that video. So I'm proud of all the videos we produce because we put a lot of time and effort into them. And I pointed to the similarities of the number of engines on the N1 and the number of engines on Starship. I don't think there's anything like, hey, the N1 had 30 engines. Let's do 33. It's just literally like physics derived. It's like, here's our engine. Here's our engine footprint. How many of these can we fit within this diameter to get the most amount of thrust and still have gimbaling capabilities to fit within our reusability architecture? It's just questions, answers, questions, answers. Is what designed the rocket, really. I don't think it's necessarily any one inspiration, but it's a conglomeration of all inspiration and.
Oh, it was still on. Thank you for that catch.
Let's see here. Let's see. Why not put a? This is from Pleb Dominus Rex. Why not put a big upper stage on Starship? We already have a commercial lunar landers. Why not NASA?
Okay, fixed.
Company build a commercial deep space capsule to replace Orion. Well, that's the ultimate thing with the Artemis program, is that frankly the SLS and Orion are the only things left that are in fixed price contracting. So will that survive this next administration, especially with the influence that Elon Musk appears to be having within the administration, I don't know. I don't know if it can survive that. Should it survive that? You know, I'm becoming less of a fan of a program that flies once every 4 years and costs, you know, $4, $5, $6 billion every year, whether or not it flies. Just seems less sustainable these days in a world where $4 billion so far has gotten us 6 launches.
Hey, Rain, welcome in. Yeah, Starlink is pretty amazing. But, of course, since Elon owns it, he's getting much higher speeds than what his customers are getting right now off the
Starship
rockets.
was just trying to launch mass and just trying to, you know, go expendable, they could have done that on Flight 2 and had, or probably for sure Flight 3. They could have had a full duration burn and put 200 tons into orbit.
And those are
The
4K
problem
cameras
is a lot of mass
that Elon has on board, although they're only streaming in 1080
problem. They can
on
do
X.
That. The real challenge is reusability.
The videos they'll be releasing here
and that's
shortly.
what they're
It should be
still
all
trying
be
to
in
solve. Is
4K.
this the best solution? They got more data today than they did last time, or different data. Not maybe.
And
more
there goes the
out
helicopter
than-
again.
Not more than, but they got more data today to go along with their data from Flight 5 to help shape the envelopes and help shape the protocols, help shape the engineering, the hardware around what's going to happen to be able to build.
I guess they're making sure everybody stays away from it.
Just like the first Falcon 9s that landed, you know, we saw them fly once, and it was like, wow, they reflew it. And it wasn't until they built Block 5 that we actually saw them properly reusing boosters, you know, 20 times, right? And that's the similar approach we'll see here. We'll see some demonstrations like these. These are all tech demos. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So Zach, by the way, from CSI Starbase, Zach Golden pointed out that the lightning tower and the actual little the comms tower at the top of the tower may have been damaged. If we can get Mr. T pointed on the very tippity top of the tower, we might be able to see that it does appear to be crooked, and that could be. Well, it said catch go from the.
Ooh, yeah.
Go from the tower. They said tower catch go, but you can see that
their towers, their radio
there's some
antenna's
weather
bent a
elements
little
up there,
bit.
Communications that does appear to be knocked back a decent amount. Not sure if that had anything to do with the aborted catch attempt.
It could, because if it's bent, it
is
means
something
it's
to know.
already partially
Thanks for pointing
broken,
it
and
out, Zach.
they don't want it flying off during a catch attempt.
We're estimating more like 24 miles, by the way, of the booster location, based on where the helicopter is circling. So we're kind of looking at his flight radar. Should we pull that up? Do we want to do? You want to send me that link and I'll. Okay. Okay, let's.
Oh, I paused
Plane
that. My
skedaddle,
bad.
which might mean a sign of something coming. All right, let's keep all eyes tuned on the left screen there. If the planes are out of there, it might mean that we're going to see this thing go kaboom, and it might be quite spectacular because they will actually have to trigger flight termination system to do that. So let's keep all eyes on that. I'm going to just try to not look away too much. I'm going to try not looking away too much. I have to. But that might be exciting. Yell at me. Give me a good audio if you see it start to go so I don't miss it. But let's keep trying to answer a few questions. You can't yell quicker than explosion, but thank you so much to Alejo, I'm guessing, from Argentina. Oops, I didn't realize that was political. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. We're trying to avoid that. I know everyone's got things that they're excited about, but today we're talking spaceflight only, my friends. I think SpaceX has never aborted a Starship IFT attempt, right? They did abort IFT.
Too many streamers nowadays want to stay away from politics, and I understand why.
Every single one now.
We'll never shy away from it here on my channel, though.
I mean, granted, like yesterday, do you count yesterday as a scrub because it was supposed to launch yesterday, but that wasn't like a mechanical. That was just purely weather. They flew it today because of weather considerations. So, yeah, basically more or less no. And Starship is not really scrubbed after the first one at all, which is absolutely crazy. Jeff Berg, thank you so much for becoming a member. Nick G, what do I think of the next 4 years of Starship? Will it look like point-to-point landings on Earth? No. Moon landings, hopefully. Mars, no. I think that, I really do think... hey, John, can we have John point the camera down a tiny bit just so that...
11 people in here. Let's fucking go.
We don't miss out on part of the explosion because of the comments. Perfect. Thank you, John. That's great. That'll be good. fantastic. Don't want to ruin that opportunity. But yeah, I think in 4 years we will have. Wow, look at it! It's like pitching up like crazy. I wonder if they're just still continuing to drain. I don't know how it's pitching up that much. You can see it rocking up and down.
It's
from here.
because I'm sure it's probably taking on water
Sinking.
there
It
at the
must be
bottom a little
bringing
bit.
water in. Maybe they opened up all the fill valves, and they're just letting it take on water. Or it's being eaten alive by a giant shark. Wow.
Sharks.
But
All right,
think,
where's my net?
You know, as far as where will this vehicle be in 4 years, I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see, you know, more catching, more failing, more progress. I think in 4 years, we hopefully will have obviously operational payloads being deployed. I think we'll have the tanker solution easily figured out. I think they'll have landed the Starship on on the moon in 4 years. And the ultimate question is, 4 years, will they be sending that first Starship uncrewed off to Mars? First one or two off to Mars? Maybe. If they can have 4, I think they need 4 towers. I think they need to be flying these things weekly at that point. Wow, it is moving so much. But yeah, I think we're still not going to see Mars, but hopefully we see at least an uncrewed lunar lander of Starship in 4 years, and maybe even humans getting close in that time frame. And hopefully in 4 years, by then, maybe Jared Isaacman will have flown as well. Let's see. Interesting. Rick, dirigibles have a rigid airframe. Blimps have an envelope or soft shape. So I was wrong. I thought the whole thing, the lighter than air.
There we go.
All those were called dirigibles.
Giving away a Starship T-shirt.
Like a Zeppelin.
Exclamation point! Enter in the chat.
Yeah. Crap. Well, there we go. Let's see.
If you're over on Twitch, I can't do it over on YouTube.
Absolutely, I say Elon's name all the time. What are you
Got
talking about?
to be over on
See, this
Twitch
is what I'm talking
for the
about.
giveaways.
Someone out there is taking what I'm saying and they're filtering it through their own viewpoint. And I've been talking about Elon the whole time, and I'm proud of the work that Elon.
And I noticed earlier this is one of the Gildan soft shirts.
But
I never did change
you're
those
talking about
back.
rockets. When people
The
put more
soft
on
shirts
that,
fit a little
that's
different,
not what I'm
especially
here
on
for.
some
I'm
women,
not a
but
political channel.
or at least Manette doesn't like
I don't
them.
understand how people still, despite me saying what we're doing, we're watching a rocket launch. Period. How does that still get
There.
filtered through?
Logix,
Fine.
Jen, Nix,
Don't.
Veldex, Will
Enjoy what
Smash.
we have a
Exclamation point!
beautiful
Enter in
world
chat
that is
to get the
being
T-shirt.
explored by the most powerful rocket of all time. I mean, this is crazy.
You only
stuff.
have 90 seconds total.
Ben Moran, do I think Sea Dragon rocket could be resurrected in the near future due to an increased demand for cargo? Much love from Northern Ireland. I think sea launch is the absolute wrong way to go. It's just basically a big, giant, dumb, efficient rocket or inefficient rocket, and it could only take up that massive vehicle prototype or concept. Would only launch
There we
about an
go.
Apollo capsule.
Deedledex,
So it's
Deedledex.
like 10 times bigger.
There you go.
And can
Click
only
on
do,
that link
than
there.
Starship, and can only do
Verify
1/10
your
of the
Twitch
payload
account.
capability of what Starship can do. So I
And
think
put
we'll
in
answer
your
in 4
information
years.
on where you want that shipped to.
I don't think
Congratulations.
a dumb booster is the way to go. By the way, we are kind of coming.
I
up
believe
on
that's
the
another
midnight.
first-time winner.
Let's maybe go picture or side by side again, and it has just been banana, hasn't it? This isn't that exhilarating. Kind of fun, but not that fun. Also, make sure we listen in if they start to talk at all. Thank you so much, Wouter Simmons. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that. Fintan Bork, 3 boosters, 1 Starship, bigger Dragonfly. That would be, well, no, they will never do a super heavy booster. That is like a super heavy, sorry, or like a Starship Heavy where you have tri-cores.
There we go.
SpaceX learned,
There's the
Elon
shirt
talked about it a
there.
few times that's just
It's one of
not
my
the way
older
to go.
designs.
It's easier to make, especially at this scale now when they have a production site.
It's got
easier
Starship
to
on
make
the
a
front,
big
the American
booster
flag
to-
on there,
to meet your needs.
and
to meet
looks
your
like my
needs
QR
of,
code on the shoulder.
Launch capacity than it is to do, multiple staging events and have, recoverable boosters and all that stuff. It's just a lot more, it's a lot more It's a lot more straightforward when you just upscale the vehicle to fit your needs, especially with something like Raptor.
And if y'all look
and
around in the
Starship, where
store
you
and
have
see
32
something
engines
that you
20 engines on the outside, you could add
see
another
something that
engine.
I'm
You could
missing that
literally
you would
make
like
it
to have in there,
You know, from going
just
from 9 meters
let me
wide,
know.
you go to 12 meters wide or whatever, and potentially put another.
Message me
33,
on,
double the amount of
Discord or
engines and double the.
give me
the
a shout.
diameter, or not double, but go from 9 to 12, and at least double the mass of the vehicle. So we're getting close, by the way, to that Raptor relight. This is from Painting on the
And
Same
there I
Page.
also have
The last one, it was
sweatshirts,
amazing. The catch of the heavy rocket was stunning. I'm so
zipper,
sad.
hoodies.
I don't want to think about it too
zippered
much. I'm
hoodies,
still in shock
sweatpants.
that we have this here, because this is also pretty exhilarating. But I am sad that I still haven't seen the catch. Ah, man. What camera do I use? Oh, man. We use a lot of cameras. We use Z cams. We use Blackmagic cameras. We use... yeah, there is some lighting going on Starship, which it's way too high up to be getting any atmosphere.
Oh, it's probably lightning. It looks like lightning on the surface of the Earth.
Storm.
Yeah, no,
And
yeah.
that illumination would be likely from the plume of the maneuver thrusters. Yeah,
Yeah, it's lightning.
It's overflying. Look at all the lightning.
Somewhere on the dark side of the planet right now, it's storming.
I almost guarantee that's what that is. A city below. They're probably flying over
some city lights.
Africa as we speak right now, actually. That's really cool. Likely a storm there. I hope the orangish glow is not a fire on board.
Those look like maneuvering
let's listen to hear
thrusters.
what SpaceX is saying.
Seeing some thunderstorms down on the ground. That's pretty cool. But this is not a deorbit burn. If we didn't fire this engine, we're on a intentional suborbital trajectory. So no matter what, we're coming in over the Indian Ocean. Firing off the engine does change your exact splashdown point a little bit, but we've got this keep out zone across the entire Indian Ocean that we made sure was clear ahead of flight, and we continue to monitor during. But we're going to aim for that and hopefully see this relay test coming on in about a minute. It's just going to be one of these engines, and it uses what's called the header tanks, so these small spherical tanks in the very top of Starship, up in the nose cone. They don't require nearly as much gas to pressurize as your main tank, so they're really useful for any in-orbit maneuvers, and then for landing burns. So if we make it to a landing burn today, we'll be using them for that as well. So we should be coming up just about the next minute. Should be under away from that expected ship burn.
It's likely venting so much. You do see all that.
And again,
gas.
We've relit Raptors pretty frequently. We just did it with the landing burn and that boost back burn on the booster, and we've done it on ship landing burns. We just haven't done it in this microgravity environment where your propellant management and a lot of other things are different, as you're not weighing
Relay
down
demo
by the
start
force
up.
of Earth's gravity.
Here we go.
There we go. Lighting one engine.
For startup.
Awesome.
There we go.
There's some light. There's that Raptor
There's some
relit
ice.
and shut down.
Sweet. It's
All
still in
right,
one
there you
piece.
have it, the first time ever lighting a Raptor while in outer space.
Yeah, this is the first time they've done
Other
that.
than our
Is
asset.
relighting the engine in space.
Really
Wow.
cool to see that relit. That's a pretty critical.
The
capability
main engines,
that
now
we're
the
gonna
little-
need, when we're doing orbital missions in the not too distant future. So check another one off. That was a really cool. That was an objective we really.
They have gas
worked on.
thrusters all over it too that,
You
that
should,
help it
knock that one
help
out
it gain
over.
position.
But for now, for just a little bit longer, and then it'll be time for ship entry. So we'll get the usual light show as we return from
Starship is an entry
hypersonic
prep.
velocities. We're just starting to do the entry prep for that, so we're going to get the flaps positioned, and then it's going to start taking the brunt of all of that heat as you're coming in from
Yeah, and if y'all haven't seen this, this is cool when it starts to re-enter. When it re-enters, start getting that plasma. You can see that up there on the top screen.
And we're going to see how the tiles fare. We've also got some pretty cool tile experiments.
Apparently, What About It stream is a little bit ahead of.
Real soon. Ship re-entry, successful relight, and we'll start this entry part soon.
That was awesome.
Oh, let me refresh that. There we go.
That just must be venting of the warm gas thrusters. That's cool. Let's keep the booster up though. Just yeah, there we go. Perfect. Look at that. I like that. We got a bigger full screen and a sweet. Sorry, thank you, Andrew. Andrew is just one step ahead as always. Yeah, we don't want to lose that booster though, because either it'll do a Titanic sad slow sink, or it'll
get back
give us
over
a
here
little
to
bit
chat.
of a fireworks show. But man, I can't.
You're
help it.
welcome,
It already looks like re-entry
D-Lex.
right? I mean, I didn't think we really started to see the Starship.
Usually when I get over
It's supposed to be
10
at
viewers in
47
stream,
minutes.
every now and then I'll throw a t-shirt or a sweatshirt out or a flag or something like that.
Yes.
Just to kind of say thank you to y'all coming in. Because y'all don't have to be here, but you choose to, and I appreciate it.
Change its trajectory all that much. Maybe it's just different lighting conditions that were. I mean, it's definitely experiencing some heat already, for sure.
Close some of these other tabs.
Remember, they're going to be pushing this thing on reentry at more extreme angles and pushing its envelope even further. But they did say most of it is once it's subsonic. So the reentry part should
Let me just
be
go down to
fairly
one
similar.
monitor.
We shouldn't be seeing like
See if that helps.
anything too drastically different during reentry itself. The biggest change we should see is actually once it's.
I also have all kinds of
pushed
tabs
and
open
it's
just for my
subsonic.
stream.
So in the last,
Got
you
my
know,
mod
2
view
minutes of
up.
descent,
I've got
once it's below, few
YouTube
what
Studio.
is it, probably 30 kilometers or whatever, 20 kilometers, when the thing's just belly flopping, or maybe like 10 is when it goes subsonic. Then they're
And
gonna try
also,
nosediving, so putting it
yeah, let's
way
turn
out of
off. I don't
control,
have to watch
basically,
my
way out of
stream
whack,
on
way out of its
YouTube.
normal flight profile, and they're going to see if they can still recover from it. So basically, pushing the envelope of
Although-
this vehicle, knowing that this isn't a finished.
Damn, that
product.
looks
This
good
is
over there at
still
1440p
a
though.
big experiment, which is why we see a booster out there, and which is why we see this vehicle without catching hardware. And these are all milestones they need to do. They need to continue to prove to the themselves and the FAA that they can reuse this thing. They can come back in for reentry safely and.
Yeah, so far they haven't reused any of them. Of course, they
landing in
haven't caught
Brownsville.
any of the
or Mexico or landing in
starships
wherever,
yet.
We don't want
The one booster they caught,
pieces of this
they
vehicle
disassembled
falling
it
apart
just
or
to
breaking
examine it.
So the more reentry tests they do, the better.
See where they had stress
The harder they
fatigue,
push
stuff
it
like
and know
that,
the
where they
limits
need
of
to
it, the
beef it
better.
up.
Absolutely. So by the
Like I said,
Alejo, by the way, we were talking
On
about
this
which
ship,
cameras
like I said,
do
they
you use. We
they
use
removed
a-
some of the tiles.
We use a lot. We
in
have
different
Z cameras,
places.
We have Blackmagic cameras. We have free flight cameras are some of our
just to see the
highest
effects
end
of
with a
heat
global
on different
shutter,
parts of the ship.
420 frames a second.
Especially where they want to install the
Pro
catch
lenses, and they are
pins.
Unbelievably huge files.
They want to see if that area can be
And we have some red cameras.
Untiled.
We have some, we have a lot
without
of Z
taking
cams.
too much
We
heat.
use the Z cams a lot. We have a lot of Blackmagic. We've got the
They might have to
this is
reinforce
what we
those
use at
areas
night.
just with some
The
titanium
S5
skin
is it
instead of
2?
stainless steel.
I think S5 2 or something.
All kinds of different
I
things
don't
they
remember
can
the
do.
exact one anymore. But it's kind of we use that because it's high ISO.
But they don't know what they need until they
512
try it.
ISO or something absurd, like 128,000 ISO or something like ridiculous. And it's still able to produce really clear results.
Yeah, SpaceX is just so often because they
Use that
can
camera
build these
application.
things so quick.
Yeah, we have a lot of cameras. Different cameras based on different.
Yeah, no, it's not as bad as Netflix. I'm glad I didn't try to stream that because I would have
This is
been
from Charles,
frustrated.
Olivers Dufoy saying, here watching from Montreal, Quebec. I hope very hard that I'll be able to see this in real life. I hope you do too. Like I said,
I'd love to get down to Boca Chica
the
for
launch is
a
amazing.
launch
I
one
can't wait
day.
to see a catch for the first time. That will be something that I'm really, really looking forward to. There we go. We can see ice building up on that vent line because of the relight. That's crazy. You can see how it looks like it's like cold. It's so weird that it's already. I mean, it could be plasma buildup at 96 kilometers. 51,200 ISO, by the way, is the max on those lumixes. They don't go to 512,000. I don't remember. There is a camera that does that, but I don't remember what that is. Yeah, this is. I mean, this has to be plasma. Like that's.
Yeah, it's plasma.
It's just. It seems like it's earlier than it was before, which I'm not entirely understanding. Why or how that could be. Looks like we have the front flap on the bottom left, the aft flap in the middle, and looking out of the engine skirt at the top. This is from Jordy. Good to
excuse me.
Go Team EA, sub since 2018. Awesome. With Starship landing over the Indian Ocean, how does SpaceX simulate the accuracy of the imaginary tower catch? Based on GPS, basically. And then also they have buoys out there that you can triangulate using multiple buoys to really precisely demonstrate the accuracy. But also using military grade GPS can be a lot higher accuracy than terrestrial than our normal GPS. I think down to, why do I feel like I heard 10 centimeters? I don't know if that's accurate, but it's let's say it's more accurate than what us civilians can use. And I'm guessing, it's probably more accurate than the government wants us to know. That's probably for sure. Very accurate GPS options. And yeah. The
Helicopter just hovering over the boosters now.
That's how they do it. They just basically make sure that it lands where they intended it to land based on GPS. And that's good enough, if you know and it lands right where it said it's going to land, based on telemetry and all that stuff. You can tell orientation and if it would have been successful. So
2 helicopters
all right,
now.
they are chatting in. Let's listen in here.
Executed a planned divert to a landing burn and soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, obviously we were hoping to come back to the tower, but this was a test and we knew that it was a very viable possibility.
Starship is at 85 kilometers. Flaps now have control of the vehicle.
All right, great news there, turning our attention over to the star of the show here, giving us these amazing views once again. We heard the call out there telling us that the Starship vehicle is now 83
just under
kilometers
27,000
above,
kilometers
T
an hour
plus,
in
now,
speed.
actually, the ship, as
82
you can see,
kilometers
is
up.
beginning
It's
to
dropping
re-enter
a
the
little bit, I
Earth's
think.
atmosphere. As a reminder, one of the main goals of today's flight test is for the ship to make it through the extreme heat of re-entry and to do so in a controlled manner. Now, re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communication capability with the spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or about 5 miles per second. Now at those speeds, pretty fast, the spacecraft is moving through the atmosphere rather quickly, and that results in friction, as we can see that starting to happen on our screen, and this creates a plasma field around the vehicle. That blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication.
Actually, they're getting much better at
Starship is
that.
approaching the peak heating phase of entry.
Already.
And we just heard we're getting into the peak heating phase. We're getting these views courtesy of Starlink. We've got 4 different terminals on the ship itself. It's what's really allowed us to get real-time data during what's otherwise been just a mystery box, essentially, for spacecraft design, where when you're re-entering through the atmosphere, at least getting anything in real time hasn't ever been possible before. But we're able to not just get these views.
Those plasma effects are just weird on the outside of the ship.
Do really want to stress that we are really pushing the ship today. The heat shield is not in the same configuration as it was last flight, where we had a team of ship techs do just an otherworldly task, replacing the entire heat shield, thousands of tiles, installing a backup ablative, and that pretty much set us up to do a pinpoint landing on Flight 5. We did not do that with this one. We have some backup in those really sensitive areas around the flap, but this is an older generation heat shield. And knowing we weren't going to do that, we even went and removed some extra tiles. There are some missing tiles in the nose cone where we're testing some backups. Some steel-covered tiles in a couple of different spots. And there's also a whole lot more steel of the ship showing. As you guys talked about, we gave it a little bit of a haircut, a couple hundred tiles trimmed off the sides, and that's where we might have catch fittings in the future. But ooh, color's starting to come in, so it looks like things are going to start heating up, Kate and Jesse.
Yeah, fun fact, Dan, we actually removed 2,100 heat shield tiles from Starship in order to basically present that necessary receding line, which you kind of can see there in your view. Think back to previous flights, the heat shield line came up further on the vehicle, and just like Dan said, we want to test the vehicle beyond what we think it is capable of carrying based on our simulations and calculations. So once again, to just be super plain, don't be surprised if we see some wackadoodle stuff happen here. We won't be. There are a number of things that we are testing out intentionally to see what the ship can take.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing what those limits are will really help us design the vehicle of the future. Essentially, removing those tiles helps us remove a lot of weight from the vehicle, a lot of things that might potentially need refurbishment in the future. And the goal is to come up with a heat shield pattern or design that we don't have to refurbish. We can just continue to use it over and over again. And that's why we're changing some of those tiles and moving stuff around, removing a lot of those tiles, as Kate has been mentioning.
Exactly. And, you know, looking forward to the Starship capability of the future, we want to be able to catch Starship like we do with boosters. And so the next flight, we want to better understand where we can install catch hardware, not necessarily to actually do the catch, but to see how that hardware holds up in those spots. And today's flight will help inform, you know, does the stainless steel hold up like we think it may based on experiments that we conducted on Flight 5. Now, continuing to look, amazing views. Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, there's so much on this flight that we're doing to try and, you know, make all the ships that we're about to start flying even better, just really understand what their capabilities are gonna be. We've got kind of the next gen ship lined up for Flight 7. It's got all of those heat shield upgrades and everything. And one of the things that we're going to be doing that's most interesting, and one of the reasons we wanted daylight, is we're going to be flying pretty aggressively as ship comes in. We're going to be kind of nose down, and we've done it in wind tunnels, we've done it in simulations. You might see the flaps really flapping around trying to control the vehicle. We're betting we might have a little bit more capability than we think in just the analysis, but always a chance that bet doesn't pay off. But that just helps us know, like, what are our
Starship
limits.
is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry.
Sweet. Halfway there. Halfway home, guys.
Jeez.
Yeah, and if you guys, again, can follow along with the altitude and the speed of ship as it's making its way back down to Earth, bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Speed is still going really, really fast. Again, as it gets closer to
Slowing
Earth,
down a little bit,
you'll
but it's
see
still
that
going
altitude
super
drop
fast.
A little bit faster. It's kind of dropping pretty slow right now. And again, as we get closer and closer to literally the surface of the water, then we'll start to see that speed pick up.
You see the
And
rainbow
if we
effect
can
on the
make it
stainless
through
steel as
this
it heats.
re-entry, we will attempt to do that flip maneuver once again and splash down in the ocean.
Exactly. Like we've been saying, we are testing beyond the perceived limits of the vehicle. We want to go learn more about the ship, and this is a great opportunity to do that. So really pushing the flight hardware in a flight environment to help inform these future designs. As we've mentioned, it has a different heat shield. This heat shield is not the same generation as what we flew last time. This one is one generation older. So we are also testing out new secondary thermal protection materials. So basically, like, if the heat shield isn't in this one spot, can this other material protect the metal is the thinking there.
Well, seeing the leading edge of that wing heat up just a little bit there.
Strength in those areas where we're looking to add that ship catch hardware just to see if it survives entry. So yeah, as we've been saying, we've done a lot of calculations and simulations. This view right here.
And unless you
is
test something to failure, you don't know what the failure
out
point is.
From the aft engine bay, basically at the bottom of Starship.
And best to do it now while they're
Then
testing and there aren't
the
humans on
center
board.
left-hand panel, if you will, we have one of the forward Starship flats.
Those tiles are
one of the
getting
flaps
hot.
located at the top of the vehicle. Underneath that is one of the aft end flaps, like the one that we see in the main picture there on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, these views as the vehicle continues to enter the Earth's atmosphere, drawing a crowd once again here at SpaceX in Hawthorne as folks tune in as the mission continues on. Now, the next event that we have coming up, we should hear the call out that the vehicle is transonic around T plus
That
1
different
hour
colored
and
plasma
2
looks
minutes or so.
cool.
That means that the vehicle is traveling near the speed of sound. We say near the speed of sound because there are certain parts of the vehicle where airflow is going faster and other parts where it's going slower. So it kind of teeters there on the brink of the speed of sound. So once we have equal flow on all parts, then we'll hear it subsonic.
Yeah, and
Oh, and almost real quick, almost a reverse of. I'm sorry, Jesse. Almost a reverse of before we see the Earth starting to come into view. We've got sunrise
Daylight.
there over the Indian Ocean. So this is going to look different from any of the re-entries we've had before, and it was specifically so like we get as much daylight as possible to see how ship does this. Over to you, Jesse. Sorry about that.
Dan, you great minds think alike. That's exactly what I was going to point out, is that we're getting a lot clearer view of the Earth in the background with the different temperatures that we're seeing, with the different colors of that plasma around the ship, which is really, really cool to see. Again,
Is that a big
we
wrinkle in
are
the
pushing
ship?
the limits of ship today, but so far everything is looking
Lower left-hand
pretty
corner of the
normal.
screen?
Yeah.
That
We'll
black
see how the
line?
next few minutes goes.
Yeah. Like we've
Or is
said
that a metal
before,
plate
don't be
that they welded
surprised
on?
If this is not entirely smooth sailing all the way down to the ocean's surface. Similar to Flight 5, we are targeting the same splashdown location in the Indian Ocean, but we are not expecting to recover the vehicle.
Right, and we were getting some glimpses of the flaps. The flaps so far are looking pretty good. We're not seeing any burn through. There's those flaps again in that hinge area, which is our most concerning area there. That's great news for us for now. Again, the next few minutes could change as we continuously push those limits.
Wow.
Yeah, once we slow down a little bit, once we're subsonic essentially, so I think that's about 1,200 kilometers an hour. Once we're down below that, that's when we're going to kind of dip our nose down and get that more aggressive angle of attack. Normally we're just belly flop right into the water, pretty much that position. But
I mean, I can
if
see
we're gonna
the
be able
waves
to
in the
return to launch sites,
stainless steel,
we're
but
gonna wanna be
there
able
at the
to
bottom of the
fly
camera, it looked
a
like
bit more of an angle of attack
I
if
can't
you're-
tell if it's a metal plate or if it's a big
as you're
wrinkle.
coming through.
Almost
And
a bend in the
this'll
ship.
be just a test to see quite how far can we push it. And obviously,
I
we'll
think
do
it's just
these
a
kind of
I think it's
tests
just a plate welded
way
on.
out here in super remote areas before.
That's probably where they
try
plan to
get
put
ship
the
back to a
catch
place like
pins.
Starbase.
Starship remains
Would be
on a
my
good
guess,
entry
but-
trajectory. External temperatures are coming down.
That's good.
All right, great news there. That tells us that we are through the phase of peak heating. So we are expecting these temperatures to continue to come down. Once again, we are targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean around the
Little
off
burn
the
through there
northwest coast
on
of,
the nose
of
flap again.
Australia. We can see these beautiful views of planet Earth coming in. Yeah, this is very different where we had nighttime.
Yep, they are. They're getting a little bit of
views
burn through on
the ship
front
as it
flap.
was re-entering. And now we've got daylight. It is about an hour or so after sunrise there in the Indian Ocean. So pretty cool to see this.
That's right.
And it
Flight
might not
4
seem
showed
like it makes a huge
that
difference,
you
but
can
we
burn
do
half
a
the
little bit
flap
more
off and
light
it can
on
still
ship as
land.
well from the views that we have,
Yeah, it's getting hot.
which is very beneficial for us
There
to
in the middle camera.
visually see anything and try and correlate that
Debris
to
from
any
that blowing off
sensors
hitting the
or
camera.
data
That's why
that
it's
we
getting a little
have on the
foggy
vehicle.
looking.
Exactly. That is why
It's
we
cooling
shifted
down.
our launch window so that we could have that daylight in order to improve our observations of the vehicle.
Yeah,
So
that
not
dark
only
line
are
I
we
was seeing
getting
looks like a
the
metal
raw
plate
data
welded
from all
onto the.
sensors that are on board Starship, but we also have
Scan
multiple
under the frame.
cameras and assets out there that are watching the vehicle and will also be able to tell us with this visual story that is also very, very important.
And I don't know what that is on the
a little bit lower.
back side of the flaps
Rocker
right here.
Engines are in their chill phase right now, so
Looks like
just essentially
6
getting them
heat
primed
shield
to turn
tiles
on. We're
with something in the
using
middle.
those three
It could be
center
one of
engines,
the Starlink
to
antenna.
do a landing flip
setups
and a
too.
landing
I don't
burn.
know.
So we'll come down kind of in that slightly pointed down belly flop and then fire off those engines to flip us around and then do that.
Or maybe
final
just
landing burn. That should
a
be
sensor
coming up
pack
just
so they can tell what the
a
temperature
little
is.
over- Just under 5 minutes from now, and then hopefully we start hearing some call outs on transonic and subsonic as we slow down.
But
Again,
it'll be cooling off now anyway.
Once you hear Starship as subsonic,
Yeah, the speed's down
keep a
to
close eye on the
almost
flaps.
8,000
They're gonna
kilometers
be-
an
they're gonna be
hour.
Working overtime essentially to maintain control of the ship as we get a little more aggressive with this.
42 kilometers up.
Wow, it's surviving again.
Yep,
Surprisingly, again.
Yep, leading edge
See
there is
that
getting a little
we
warm.
Are beginning.
Starship has passed maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, great call out there. But we can see on this view here that we do have some heating there on that looks like one of the forward flaps on Starship. This is to be expected. We knew that the vehicle would perform differently than what we had seen on Flight 5. This is actually really good data because it tells us what parts of the vehicle at this, what will soon be a higher angle of attack once we drop down below the speed of sound. We'll have a higher angle of attack, meaning we're going to be flying nose down, basically.
Pointing down.
So yeah, this is good news, but we can actually, looks like that heating is starting to cool off there.
Yeah, it's a little burn through. Again, it is important to note when we start seeing that through the ship's descent as well. So like Kate was saying, we're getting some really good data here. Looks
Like I said, these heat tiles aren't the same ones they used on the last one. They're
the
from
one that has a little
Launch
burn through,
4,
which is some good
the older
news.
tiles,
Again, constantly watching. We've got
because they wanted to see the they wanted to see the heat on the skin.
to make it all the way back down to Earth.
Exactly. And like we said before, we are not expecting to recover the ship, although that would be great. It'd be a nice bonus if it happened, but it's not really in our expectations today. We really want to push the hardware, as we've been saying, but really the telemetry and the data and the video that we receive all the way to the end is truly what we're looking for and will help inform the future designs of this vehicle.
This is cool. It's getting close to
We can see
subsonic.
some flap movement as the
Wow.
camera is moving around. That's what you're seeing there is the flaps adjusting. When we have a camera on one of the flaps there, this is the view that you're seeing there.
Venting gas.
You can see how toasty it is. You can see the discoloration
And you
of the
can also
stainless
see
steel.
the graphic in the bottom.
Starship is slowing down past Mach 1.
And call outs aligning with this. You can see the orientation of the vehicle starting to change. You can follow
Now
that graphic
subsonic.
at the bottom of your screen. Again, that is why those flaps are changing. They control the orientation of the vehicle.
Here comes that nosedive, I
Yeah,
guess.
there are
Yeah,
four.
this is.
Go ahead, Dan.
Starship has started the subsonic belly
was good.
flop, remains on a good trajectory.
I was gonna say this is when things will start to get a little interesting. So this is when we're moving slower than the speed of sound. You can see that nose slowly start to tip down, and we're gonna try and maintain flap control the whole way. But we are just a couple minutes away from hopefully doing a landing flip and landing burn if the flaps can hold together.
Yeah, this is such a cool view. This reminds me of when we first performed the belly flop maneuver on the high altitude test with serial number 8. We saw the ship come back through, and I always wondered what it looked like from the ship's perspective, and this perspective, I think, helps inform that. We will be, as Dan said, we will be dipping down a little further. And
Hey, walkabout, welcome in.
nose first.
Yeah, we're watching
Angle of attack. We're
the
intentionally
6th
doing it to stress
Starship
those aft flaps,
flight test.
and that will help inform the limits of flap control.
They didn't catch the
in order
booster
to
this
collect
time.
data
Booster
for
landed
future
in the ocean.
profiles.
They opted to not catch it, and there was an explosion. One of the top fuel tanks blew up, but it's still just floating there. It hadn't even sunk
Got
yet.
about 5 kilometers in altitude to go. We'll ignite the engines when we're still just a couple hundred meters over the
Elon likes to blow stuff up, though, so I bet you here in the end they'll hit the flight termination
I have a
system to
feeling
sink
this is
it.
going to look so cool as it passes through the clouds.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
And maybe right now they're thinking, well, hey, why don't we
to the entire avionics team on Star.
why don't we recover it? Look at him coming through the clouds.
Nose down
Got so much
orientation.
smoke coming off it now. It's
All right,
really
where's the
amazing.
flip?
Now the Raptor
1
engines
kilometer.
will relight and help flip the booster back up. This is a more severe flip given the orientation. The engines will shut down prior to the water making impact, prior to the vehicle making impact with the water.
Our ship is doing great so far.
Yep. Engine relight, flip.
What a great
Here we go, soft splashdown.
by Starship.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. That's pretty. Buoy cam too.
Starship has landed.
Wow.
Soft splashdown.
Splash down in the Indian Ocean.
Oh, and the buoy cam again.
Some awesome buoy cam action here. Daylight views.
Oh, it's split in half.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's split.
Push limits on ship and it made it all the way back down to Earth.
I am shocked, to be honest.
When it falls over like that, it's still slapping the water pretty hard.
The fact that it survived all the way through while flying
both.
a lesser gen heat shield is just absolutely incredible.
Plus, it's hot.
And,
Hitting that
turns
cold
out
water.
The vehicle had more capability than our calculations predicted, and that is why we test like we fly.
Exactly why we do that. And those views were absolutely incredible to watch. Because of Starlink, we were able to get the views all the way down, as well as the buoys, seeing ship touchdown in daylight.
So cool, so cool. Now we want to, unfortunately, wrap up the show.
Yeah, exactly. We'll
Hey,
say
Alina, welcome in.
to our teammates at SpaceX. And
Yeah,
to
water
everyone
can be
who's
pretty
supporting
hard.
the Starship program, and thank you to all of our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Now, be sure to
They're not sure if they're still alive or not. They don't know what to say. They're just sitting there grinning.
They're obviously hearing something in their ears right now. And
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I could take it from here. That was just incredible to see that splashdown. As you said, thanks to everybody that took.
And the booster's still floating.
This program.
Wait a minute, is that a ship off to the left?
Great to see another booster lift off. We'll catch it the next time. Great to see ship in the water. New version of ship coming soon. So a lot
Could be
more
a Coast Guard
launches
ship.
coming up real soon here from Starbase. But I'll send us out this time. We'll see you guys next time.
Because they did not hit the flight termination
Thanks,
system on it
Dan.
yet.
Be sure to follow SpaceX
Maybe they're
on
keeping
X
people
for
out of the way in
updates
case they
and
do
more
do that.
exciting views that we weren't able to feature on today's broadcast.
I'm sure there will be plenty of those. Now, thanks to all of you for tuning in. And
Now,
we'll see you
now,
next
Nix. Now I'm playing with my rocket.
Bananas. Obligatory shout out to the SpaceX team. The team is there that.
Which I need to repair because it
We're gonna keep you
fell
guys
off the
on
shelf
booster,
yet
which is
again.
Still floating.
I need to glue it back
What did we
together.
said about 20 some miles, or was it 30? 24ish. 24ish miles downrange. So that's roughly 35 kilometers away from.
Yeah,
the
it looks like a
shoulder.
Coast Guard ship. I don't
Roughly.
think that's a recovery boat.
We'll keep the camera going on this train down. You can see a ship out there. Hope that's an approved ship to be anywhere near this vehicle. We still have the Coast Guard choppers out there checking things out. So we'll see if this thing, what happens. But meanwhile, guys, that was incredible. So to summarize real quick what happened, we had an on-time liftoff right at the top of the launch window. The first, late afternoon, full daytime, not dawn launch of the full stack of Starship. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to see our footage. Well, we're gonna switch some stuff around so we don't miss the booster here. But we're fixing a few things. John's trying to make it so we have a better framing. I think is that what's going on here? Oh, new memory card. Oh God, that's nerve-wracking. We filled up that memory card. So John's with the scope. He's having to put a memory card back in. This is like, I bet his heart's racing. That
Yeah, they're shooting in 4K,
Let's
so
keep
it's,
it up on screen in case that's our only recording of it. Actually. Oh, it freezes while he does that. Okay.
so you can
Please don't explode
burn up a memory card
while
pretty
we're
quick.
checking memory cards. If there's one thing we want to have luck with today. Okay, we're good. We
There we
made
go.
it.
They're
We made
back.
it through our transonic region of memory card replacements. Okay, we are back and back to recording. I'm glad. Good job, John Pisani, for having additional memory cards there. This is a surprisingly clean shot for 30-some kilometers away, 20-some miles away. I mean, that is unbelievable. Still on fire. Hopefully they hit the kaboomy button here soon and we actually get another.
I think that's just a
additional
vent
bonus.
hose. It's probably
But just to reiterate,
slowly
we had,
venting gas.
on-time liftoff. That was
Kinda like a
incredible.
plume at a,
Unfortunately, once the booster separated
refinery.
from the upper stage, there was a call out eventually after shutdown that they were no go for the catch. So they did the they had let the booster splash down in the ocean, or in the Gulf of Mexico technically, which prevented it from doing another catch. Of course, so this is the backup. They've said it many times. There's thousands of criteria that need to be met in order to do a launch catch. And for now, it probably seems, like.
Oh yeah, I'm
very,
sure.
very,
It's probably like
uncertain, but
probably a
eventually
10
I'm sure
terabyte
they'll figure out
SSD
how
or
to make
bigger.
this all reliable. 1,000 items sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of a rocket with hundreds of thousands of moving parts.
And it might not be a 4K camera. It
That's
could be one of their
certainly
8K red
something
cameras.
we'll
I don't know
see
what camera they're using right
next
there.
time we see a catch attempt again.
But that's a lot of
Really bummed
data.
that I didn't get to see it, and that my parents are here. Our team was
Bigger than I can
all
afford.
cameras. We set up 1 billion cameras this time. To not have it, be able to get the catch with even more footage this time is a little bit of a bummer, and the lighting looked amazing. But there's
Server's
always next
big
time,
enough
there's next time.
at
But
75
meanwhile, the
terabytes.
ship went off and did a complete full stage burn all the way through until cut off, and then it managed to do its engine relight test, which was awesome. Huge milestone, because that hopefully gives them the confidence to actually put this thing.
So
into
everything
orbit
worked
this
other than the
time.
catch attempt.
That's the whole point of this
And I
relight
think
test.
that might have something to do with
They
the
can't
antenna on
relight an
the
engine, they can't
tower
control the re-entry.
being
They
damaged.
Can relight an engine. They prove they can.
There
do
there
that.
could have been something else
Never
damaged during
pinpoint landing.
liftoff too.
So hopefully that's confidence they need.
We'll
to
find
be able
out
to go
later.
Forward and actually do what we all hope to see, which is an actual payload mission with some Starlink.
15 people in here. Let's go.
That would be fantastic. That's going to be super, super exciting. So hopefully they have the data they need to do that, and that's going to be really fun. And then again, they even said that they pushed the vehicle even harder through re-entry. They pushed the vehicle even harder, doing more extreme maneuvers, and it still held together, even with a weaker heat shield and all that stuff. I mean, it is, yeah, they pushed it to the limits, and it still held up, which is fantastic. So we're going to keep our cameras kind of on that. There's a few fun things that I wanted to share before I get back to trying to answer a few more of your questions before we wrap up here today. But first off, Scott Manley pointed out that the International Space Station happened to be flying. Don't forget, just because the International Space Station is in space doesn't mean it's sitting there stationary. It's not like a geostationary vehicle. It's in orbit, so it passes over the Earth every 90 minutes. The Earth is also rotating, so you not only have the phasing of the orbit, but also the alignment of the Earth. It just so happened that the ISS, they were able to they flew over, and you can actually see the exhaust, or the condensation trail there left from Starship. And hopefully Don Pettit, being on the International Space Station now, who is one of the all-time photographers.
Is that during
on the
launch?
International Space Station, been up there multiple times. Hopefully he had his big guns out and was able to capture that and get some pictures and footage. There's a good chance that they actually got footage of Starship from the International Space Station, that they could have even seen it, which is
That'd be
pretty
cool.
phenomenal.
NASA will
That's
probably have
pretty,
that up on their website
rare,
later
so.
on.
Oh yeah, so and Don's son even says, "Oh, it's coming! All eyes on Astro Pettit." So hopefully Don was able to capture some footage. That would be really, really cool. So that was just a fun little bonus. And as we
Sweet.
take
I don't
our
have X
booster
open right now.
one more time,
Hey, Trainwreck.
because we're almost sold out
Welcome
here,
in.
Wanted to give one more shout out
We
to
were
Astro
we watched the
Live.
launch and
Help us,
landings
decide which missions for the year
of
deserve
SpaceX's
an Astro. It can be. Remember, these are missions.
Six
science
flight.
missions, anything with space flight and space science. You know, we're even talking like Parker Solar Probe is getting to its peak in its
And
mission.
they're already talking
It's gonna
about
be
launching
launch, but
the
now
7th
it's all
launch
about the
before the
science
end of the
to
year,
actually achieve now
which
that
is
it's
only, what,
getting to
6
its
weeks?
lowest orbit. So, you know, will Parker Solar Probe be one that's going to the Astro Awards, and we'll actually invite out for an award a representative from that mission to represent all the people that worked so hard on that mission. Obviously, SpaceX with Starship stuff. Is
And the
really
next one will
exciting.
be
Very
the
likely
first
to,
of the
to win an award, as well as
Block
of course,
2
Dawn,
or
the
version
first
2
worship crew,
rockets,
who will be at the Astro Awards, who will also be doing a panel as well, and you guys can ask questions.
which
in
will be a
real
little
life
bit
to
bigger,
people
more
from the
fuel,
first ever
more
crew of
cargo
spacewalk.
capacity.
Jared Isaacman, and again, we'll also have astronaut Charlie.
And hopefully next year we'll see the first double launch
and also on a panel. We have 2
when they
days
get
of
the
panels
second tower fixed or
and fun,
completed,
and 2 days of panels, fun.
so we can see in-space refueling.
Keynotes, and the Astro Awards, and lots of fun stuff. So I hope we see you guys in Austin, Texas, January 25th and 26th. Again, tickets are selling out. I checked here.
I guess he's winding down too.
Yeah, they're getting close
So,
to sold out. So if you want to join
I
us,
will wind
see
down.
these people live, Astro
Yeah, right there in chat. You can go check out my merch store.
that, and then one more shout out too, quick, to we do have our new locks and socks as well.
What monitor is that? That one's
Gift ideas,
4.
get these off to some friends and family. You know, we produce
Got my
stuff-
camo merch
we
up.
actually produce proper all of our merch. I'm sure many of you have seen.
And like I said, for limited time, I put the space stuff back up too. Got some t-shirts, some sweatshirts, mugs. I don't know why the sweatpants are not on there. I'll have to look. They must not have been added to that collection.
Of different missions printed out here below. So if you want to know like low Earth orbit,
There's also a pair of gray, I think they come in gray and navy blue,
medium Earth orbit, translunar
the
inject.
sweatpants. In fact, I am wearing the gray ones,
I like these
but
fun little,
not showing you my legs and my feet. This isn't OnlyFans. Y'all have to pay for that.
support the stuff we do here, as well as, of course, we still have the heat shield.
And
Which, yeah, we've got
get back over here to the wide view.
our dress wear shirt, which has
And again, my Secret Labs link.
barely even tell, nice and discreet, but still nerdy. And then, of course, our
Man, I can't wait for this new keyboard to come out. I can't see these keys.
Go on over to everydayastronaut.com.
And I spelled it wrong again.
Get something fun for yourself. Holidays are coming up. Get something for you or your loved one, or put this on your wish list and send it off to a friend or a family member or a loved one.
There we go.
Help support what we
Secret
do
Labs
here,
link.
which,
Right now, they started their Black Friday sales.
running here at Mars.
Up to 140 bucks off of their products. They've got desks, they got chairs, they got all kinds of accessories to go with each of those.
Wow, it appears to be drifting close. That makes sense. The wind is blowing.
Use my link there and just go check it out. You don't have to buy anything. Really awesome chairs.
We'll hopefully see it better and better. I'm guessing at some point they're going to have to.
Let's see. Let's look at the desk. They've got the Magnus and the Magnus Pro.
It's been on fire for a long time. Absolutely.
There's a sit-stand desk. I mean,
Mr.
they expensive.
Ben,
They ain't cheap.
it was live streamed.
But you can also get those customized desk mats to go on them. Come with them.
Typical Chaos wants to know any ideas on flights in Florida. It'll be again. They want.
Ooh, they got all kinds of new stuff in there. Oh, I didn't see all this.
Do all this stuff.
Wow.
Make sure they have a system that works. And so all. Of
And
this
then
is
all their
shape
desk
the
accessories.
future of Florida, shape the future of Starbase.
Got monitor arms, cable trays,
So we will see.
headphone hangers, all this stuff mounts right onto their desks
Should we expect to see Florida
using magnets.
Florida go online? I'm hoping in about 2 years we'll see.
And again, customized
Um,
wire covers, cable management covers.
People asking where the space did something happen recently? Like, was there some viral thing or something that point? I haven't heard any.
Heavy duty
conversations.
monitor arms, dual monitor arms in white and black.
Like, is this an inside joke? I haven't
All
heard
kinds of
since
neat stuff.
2018. This is crazy. So many comments.
Let me find,
No, again,
see if they've come out with their
Starship fly next
thing
first
yet.
stage, and hopefully we'll see the booster be the first to launch. The first,
Accessories. Come on,
booster
load
to
up.
launch on the new tower. And then,
They have chair covers. I might end up getting one of those for my old chair.
in about a year, he hopes for
Backrest, changeable arms. They've got a new footrest now. You can add to it. It's like a recliner.
We will see. We have a lot of really big
Footrest. Where's the heated footrest? Do they have that one yet? Oh, that one's just a plush.
SpaceX offered you a hop on a modified Falcon 9 first stage.
They're the wheels.
Take that ride.
Although
I mean, it's
$44 isn't bad. You can get them cheaper on Amazon.
safer statistically if you take a look at like the last since Block 5 basically.
All kinds of different stuff. Pillows.
Same.
Little plushy backpacks.
4 landing failures and about 150.
Neck braces. Hats.
No, I would not. I would not. It's not
Where's
such
the
that
foot
there's not
thing?
many backups. Yes, it's extremely reliable, but there's not enough contingencies for human life. But I almost Craig Johnson.
And all this stuff's on sale right now. Look at that. And if you have kids, they even have little kid-sized chairs.
The rocket chasing fan. The rocket
We'll
chasing
go back
fan,
up here
Luna is what
to-
powers these shows. Luna is plugged into Mars, our studio here, and that's what runs all of these live streams here at Starbase. It's still the heart of it. We
Let's
will
go
have
to their
updates
chairs.
And what we're doing with Luna, because we're doing something fun and exciting.
Where are the little
we
ones?
pull the trigger on tomorrow. So, let's see. Let's keep going here. Do I envision Starship replacing long flights? I mean, I want to. I want to envision that. I want that for ourselves and for human capability.
Titan Evo Light?
Long flights. Imagine
Is that it?
if I could
No.
just hop to New Zealand and go visit Rocket Lab or something. Yeah, you better believe I'd do that. Is that
Okay, these are just all right. These are just the regular chairs. They're just they just don't have a bunch of the fancy stuff on them.
just
I
don't
guess
know.
they're supposed to be a little cheaper. Shop now.
Into the fact that something's using lift and has some
Yeah,
ability
instead
to
of the.
support if an engine
Oh, right now they're on sale for $4.19.
when you have a pressurized vessel.
Normally
I
$5.19.
don't know. We'll see. This thing really starts flying hundreds of times a year, and it has that data to back it up.
Regular chair goes up to 220 pounds.
Brandon Music, thank you so much for becoming a member. Again, I'm missing so many of these. When will Gerald
XL up to 395 pounds.
live streaming,
Of course, a little bit more.
I don't actually know Gerald on Dudley.
It's got a sturdier metal frame.
I would do a collaboration with it if someone wants to come
All kinds of neat stuff. Y'all just go by and check it out.
Setup. It is very fun. So not only did Brandon Music become a member, but Brandon Music.
But we're pretty much done here. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. I just got hit by the moderator. I don't even understand why. Walkabout did it. I think he was just messing with you. I don't know. And you're right. The stuff that's cheap really isn't. I mean, it is what it is. It depends on your budget. But yeah, when it comes to chairs, you can find $150, $200 gaming chairs. But with somebody as big as I am, they don't last as long. The cheaper gaming chairs, my daughter can tell you, I was going through one it was worn out by a year. And then sometime in the second year, it would break on me. My first Secret Lab chair lasted 6 years. Still got it. It just has a broken arm. I just haven't got around to replacing the arm. It's a cat's chair right now. All right, nobody's on it right now. But I got it sitting in front of over there by the laser. But anyway, thanks for everybody showing up. 17 people in here. Wow. Thank you, folks. For someone that's used to only having 5 or 6 and half of those people just have me up in a tab. Nobody over on YouTube right now, which is fine. But anyway, I appreciate everybody coming out. Thanks for watching, and we will catch y'all probably tomorrow night.